No niin, lähdetäänpä peliin. Elikkä uusi peli alkaa. Ottakaa ihan pienesti katsoa, mihin minä laitoin ton. No tossahan toi on. Niin minä laitan sen... Mihin minä laittaisin sen? Tuohon väliin. Niin TikTokkilaiset tiedätte siellä, mikä peli on kyseessä. Toki se lukee isolla tuossa ruudulla, mutta... Laitetaan silti, niin sitten on ihan kiva katsoa. Elikkä uutta peliä. New game. Ai niin, ja kertokaa sitten ihmeessä, jos pelin äänet on joko liian pienellä tai liian isolla. Elikkä jos on jotakin kummallista näissä, niin sitten ehdottomasti kertokaa, niin minä sitten vääntelen. Press Enter or Spacebar to advance the game text. You can also use the mouse cursor to point and click. Have you played Murderous Game Over, the first case about the gargoyle's curse before? Yes. Okay, great. Welcome back. Onks tää jatko siihen? No niin! Introduction. Yeah! Present day. When this whole adventure started, I was at home looking through the day's mail. In the middle of a pile of coupons for video games, there it was, a certified letter from the desk of Billy Kramer, President and CEO of Hacktivision Games. It was addressed to Cleo and myself. Detective Guy and Cleo, I heard about you through that business of the Gargoyle's Curse when you performed so brilliantly. I am writing to summon you for my own help at this current juncture. Since the deal to sell off Hacktivision Games to Comp Inc. has nearly become finalized, I started receiving death threats because of the detailed personal nature of the writing. I believe that the sender is someone close to me. I fear for my personal safety, which is why I have called upon both of you to join me. Your airline tickets shall arrive in tomorrow's mail. You and Cleo shall meet me in the Italian Alps at the private Christmas party for my inner circle to celebrate the boy out. I hope to see you soon. William Kramer. I. Mitä? Onks meillä Christmas-bileet? Me just puhuttiin joulusta. Onks meillä joulunen peli? No niin, eli Cleo on siis meidän koira. Eli jos joku ei tiedä, niin on Cleo ja Detective Guy. Eli Detective Guy siis, no, meidän Detective Guy. Ja sitten on Cleo. Ja Cleo on tää koira. Joo. Eli Detective Guy ja Cleo. I didn't believe it either, but the next day, the airline tickets arrived as promised, and Cleo and I were on a plane headed for Torino Airport in northwest Italy. Before we knew it, we were riding on the back of a charter snowmobile, taking us way up into the mountains. Excuse me, driver, where exactly are we going? The Cresta Montage Hotel. It's at the top of the ridge, 10 kilometers away from the nearest town. Can we make it there in this horrendous snowstorm? Not to worry, I've been shuttling guests in these mountains for years. It may look treacherous, but I'm used to these conditions. You're not the first to ask, and I assure you that I am not the one you need to be afraid of. Be afraid of? What do you mean by that? They say the Cresta Montage Hotel and the surrounding area is haunted. I guess you two haven't heard of the legend of the White Lady before. No, should we have? If you treat me to a steak dinner and couple rounds of drinks sometime, I'll tell you all about it too. Okay. With that, Cleo and I arrived at a small isolated alpine hotel on top of a craggy mountain ridge. Now I see why we had to be brought here by snowmobile. The terrain is so steep that there are no roads. While the inside of the hotel was toasty warm, our welcoming reception was not. The president of Hacktivision Games is a very busy man. I just verified with the senior Mr. Kramer himself, and I assure you that you are not on the party attendance list. We don't want any more uninvited guests. Billy Kramer too. Eikö se Billy Kramer ollut yli se ekassa pelissä se joku peliluoja? The senior Mr. Kramer paid to bring us here. He sent this letter in the mail. What letter? I'd better not let these guys see it, since his letter mentioned death threats from someone close to him. The contents of the letter are a private, confidential matter between the client and myself. What nerve! Why would my dad even consider calling on a common detective like you? Jesus.
There must be some strange misunderstanding. I'm sorry you've been put through this inconvenience. I'll call for the snowmobile driver to shuttle you back as soon as possible.
Cleo and I must speak to the senior Billy Kramer at once. Where is he? Get out of my way and let me do my job. Hey, who turned out the lights?
The power must have gone out because of the storm.
Cleo, do you hear that strange singing? I can tell where it is coming from. I can't tell where it's coming from. Dun 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 dun! The investigation! No niin, nyt se alkaa. Ei vitsi kuinka ihanaa. Okei, no niin. A short while later. So you're a detective. We could really use your help. That's right, detective guy at your service. Why do you have the dog? Oh, this is my detective partner, Cleo, the clue-sniffing dog. Cleo can find clues that we humans can't.
Oh.
You're serious? Absolutely. Cleo and I have solved many challenging cases together when the police were baffled. Without Cleo's skills, it would have been impossible to get the job done. Excuse me, innkeeper, do you mind telling me exactly what you need a detective for? Didn't you hear the commotion when the lights suddenly went out? Somebody was murdered! Dun dun dun! Murdered? The Cresta di Montagne is my hotel, and I'll assist you in any way I can. What do you want to know first? Oh, I need controls. Mitäs nää on? You will seem like you know what you're doing, but there's no harm in going over the basic as refresher. Use the arrow keys to move. Holding down the shift key will make you move faster. Ai niin olikin. To talk to someone, press enter or spacebar. Spacebar to enter will select the dialogue option. Press escape to access the menu and see the case file, then press escape again to close the menu. Niin eski jo. If you need a hint about what to do next, you can access the hint function via the menu. An illustrated map of this area can be found in the menu too. Lastly, you can use the menu to save your game. Okay. I don't know much more than you, but I fill you in on what I do know. Ooh, my identity. You already told me yourself. You and Cleo are detectives who were sent here to help the senior Billy Kramer. Now you're here and you have the chance to help him. Are you ready? Okay. This small alpine hotel is called the Cresta di Montagne. It was originally a ski lodge and it's way up high in the mountains, many kilometers away from the nearest town. Billy Kramer Sr. served this place to hold his corporate holiday party. This big room is the lounge. The den is to the far left and up the hall. You'll find Mr. Kramer in there. The guest quarters are through the door just up from here. My office is that far right lower door, but I don't want you snooping around those areas yet. Outside is a huge mountain ridge expanse full of snow and ice. It's what our hotel is named after. You'd be crazy to go wandering around out there without wearing some crampons. Mikä on crampon? Tietääkö joku? The dead body is Billy Kramer first, the president and CEO of Activision Games. His company produced the wildly successful Paladin Dream franchise. Mr. Kramer was a very prominent, wealthy businessman. This holiday was supposed to be celebrating the sales of his company to computer conglomerate Comp Inc. for an enormous amount of money, but now he's dead. He contacted us in his hour of need, but we arrived too late. You'll find Billy Kramer's body in the den. It's the room past the fireplace, to the far left and up the hall. I'd appreciate if you would go in there and examine the body as soon as possible. We need you to find out who killed him. This place is isolated enough that it would take too long to wait for the police to arrive. I left everything untouched so you and Cleo can search for clues. I sent all the other hotel guests back to their rooms so that you can investigate without any distractions. The senior Billy Kramer invited 6 guests to his big blowout party. You'll find them all waiting in the guest quarters. A 7th person also crashed the party as an uninvited guest. I put them up in the last spare room. Including myself, there are 8 of us here at the Cresta Mountain Hotel. Okei, muistakaa, että 8 ihmistä mä pitää tavata. I'm ready. The first thing to do is to go into the den and look at the body, see what you can discover. After that, depending on what you find, I'll let you go interview our hotel guests. Alright, let's go examine the body. Yeah, save! Ah, nice! Okei, ai niin, tästä. Miten se nyt vaihtokaan tähän? Miten se vaihtokaan ton Cleon tohon eteen? Se oli joku nappi. Ässästä! No niin, Cleo! Go, go, go! Santa Claus! Hello. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Ride down Santa Claus, hey. Ooh, what is this? Oh my god! Leo found a clue. Mikä se on? The title of this book is Ghost Legends of the Alps. Okay. One of the saddest and spookiest alpine legends is the tragic tale of the White Lady. Supposed encounters with the White Lady ghosts date back hundreds of years in the most remote parts of this isolated mountainous region. During the 8th century, there lived a local countrywoman who was married to a brave paladin knight. One day, her husband left to go fight honorably in the Crusades. The bride vowed to wait patiently for his triumph's return. She adorned a hooded white robe and shawl which covered her face, so that no other man would look upon her until that day. She waited patiently, singing beautiful songs about the glory of faith, which echoed into the valley villages below the tall peaks. Days of waiting turned into months, into years, and eventually decades. Finally, one night, she encountered a traveling gypsy fortune teller in the mountains and inquired about what happened to her crusading husband. The fortune teller's magic revealed that the husband she had remained faithful to for all this time had abandoned her. The knight had married the princess of an exotic, faraway kingdom, betraying her faith
and leaving her alone in the world. Angered and disgusted, it was said that the poor woman in white offered her soul to the devil that night, though she disappeared from the sights of the local village. Marketplaces, the people now heard the chilling melodies of accursed hymns to evil whispering through the rocky mountain walls. To this day, the White Lady remains as a legendary harbinger of death in the Italian Alps. Wayward skiers, explorers, and other unlucky residents have claimed to see a faceless woman in a white robe and shawl, or to hear dark, ghostly singing around the time of an unfortunate death in the mountains. Superstitious locals know better than to travel outside during a blizzard at night, when the White Lady is bound to be out, seeking new souls to join her in eternal misery.
Dun dun dun! Jäärouva siis. Eikö vaan, Jonttu? Kuulosti ihan jäärouvalta. The clue is saved to your craze file. Cleo deserves a treat. Yeah, Cleo! Good job. Onks toi nyt vaan niinku sama? Mut minkä takia se jää tohon? Ai niin. Mihin se kisuli meni? Kisu. Mau! Okei. Anteeksi. En kiusaa sua enää. Tähtihuone. Ja mitä täällä on? Another tähtihuone.
It's the dead body.
Oh! It's the body of the murder victim, Billy Kramer. First. Mä äsken totoin first, koska mä sanoin aluksi, että I, mutta se on first. Billy Kramer the first. His expensive suit is stained with blood from the From the dagger wound in his back. This world-famous businessman wrote to Cleo and I in his hour of need, but the travel arrangement weren't fast enough and we arrived too late to protect him. Judging by his clothes and by the position of the dagger, it looks as though he was stabbed in the middle of a business meeting. If you had this back to the killer, that suggests that the murderer was someone who he knew well. His guard was down. But then why would he write to us about death threats coming from someone in his inner circle? Could somebody from the outside have come into this room and murdered the senior Mr. Kramer? Or is the killer someone here in the hotel? En kyllä saa sanoa. No niin, mitäs me löydettiin? On the other side of these windows is a steep mountain cliff. There's no way that somebody could have entered this room from outside. That means that the murderer is someone who is still in this hotel. Each of the 8 inhabitants are suspects. I need to find out who had a motive for killing the senior Billy Kramer and where each person was during the blackout. Ooh, the clue is saved to your courage file. Nice, okay. This is the victim's laptop. It must have shut off during the power outage and the battery is dead. It looks like a brand new comp ink system right out of the box, with excellent hardware specs, complete with these speakers. The electricity for these speakers shut off during the blackout too, so there's no way that ghostly singing in the dark could have come from this computer. The clue is saved to your case file. Näitä löytää varmaan sekin, että mistä se on tullut se laulu. Kokeillaanpa, jos mikä se oli? S. Että onko tällä... Pystyykö sä... Sanoks tää mitään? Ei, sen kummempaa. Se on paremmin oikeesti pitää Cleoa tässä, koska mun mielestä, jos mun muistan oikein, niin mun mielestä Cleo löytää aina parhaat cluesit ja tuo äijä ei löy mitään. Se vaan pohtii näitä, mutta Cleo on se, joka löytää kaiken. Mitä on baletti? Joku uusi hiustyyli. Mitä komppis? Miten siitä tiedä? Herran aika, se on tanssia. Nyt sivistymään. No niin. Katsotaanpas.
What did you deduce about the case now that you've had some time to start investigating? If you're really an ace detective, then you should at least be able to tell me some basic facts about what happened. First, what was the...
apua, meillä on kunnon quiz. What was the murder weapon that killed Billy Kramer? Se oli dagger, eikö ollutkin?
Billy Kramer was killed by a stab wound to his back from what looks like a Roman dagger. A Roman dagger, like the death of an emperor. I see. Cleo and I are determined to get to the bottom of it. We owe that much. One more question, just to make sure there's no way around it. You're absolutely sure that the murderer has to be someone inside the hotel? Could an outside assassin have entered through the window in the den, for example? Insider. The murderer is an insider. The den windows open over a steep ledge. There's no way somebody could have entered the room from outside. The only way into this hotel is through the front door here in the lounge, which means that the murderer is one of the 8 hotel inhabitants. I can't dispute the fact. Your logic is ice cold. Alright, I'll step aside. It seems absolutely necessary for you to interview my hotel guests. Go through this door and you'll find the guest chambers. You can interview me too, if you really think I have something to hide. Thanks, we appreciate your cooperation.
No kyllä me todellakin uskotaan, että sulla on jotain to hide.
You do realize that this mountain ridge is haunted though, right?
Clea and I stumbled upon a book about alpine folklore containing the story about the White Lady ghost legend, if that's what you mean.
At the risk of sounding superstitious,
did you hear any ghosty singing right before the murder happened? Oh yeah. Me kyllä nähtiin.
I heard something, that's all I can say for sure. Good luck with the investigation, detective guy.
Alright, Cleo, now it's time to go interview some suspects. Let's go.
Mennään ehdottomasti.
Now we can meet the people in the victim's inner circle. Maybe I can find out who knows about the letter we received. You unlocked a new area. Check the map menu for an updated map. Ai niin. Se oli täältä.
Press enter spacebar to close the map. Yep.
Wow, okei. Siis, niin me ollaan nyt niinku... Täälläkö? Eikö, tuossa on portaat. Eli me oltiinko me tässä ja me mentiin tuosta tähän, eli me ollaan tässä 3. Meillä on 2 huonetta, 3 huonetta, portaat ja sitten on tämmönen käytävä ja sitten useampi. Okei, no hyvä tietää. Nice. No niin, enter. No mennään sitten vaikka tähän ekaan ensin.
Treats! Yay! No, Cleo, we don't have time to eat now. We've got a mystery to solve.
Alright, we'll take the doggy back with us. After we solve the case, I promise you'll get an amazing treat. I bet there are at least 25 doggy bags like this hidden all over the area. Let's see how many we can find. Hei, ne nyt ne kertoo montako niitä on. Viimeksi ne ei kertonut montako niitä oli. Mun mielestä me vaan keräiltiin niitä ihan sikana. Eikö ollutkin? Mun mielestä niistä ei ollut mitään tietoa. Me vaan löydettiin niitä sattumalta.
Doggy bag.
Eikö kyllä siinä taisi olla 2 kautta joku tommonen 5 juttu. That animal doesn't look like much of a guard dog. Yeah. Ty Lipson. Okay. No niin, olen valmis.
Hey, buddy. If you start snooping through my stuff, it's gonna be your light out next.
Suspect added to case file. Ty Lipson, the victim's personal bodyguard. Okay.
The name's Ty Lipson, and I served the senior Billy Kramer as his personal bodyguard. Mr. Kramer hired me after my professional boxing career ended. I worked for him ever since. I gotta give him credit for taking me in after I got knocked out in the ring for the last time. How many opportunities are there for a guy who has had many concussions as I have? Of course, he never paid real well. It wasn't all bad flying around with him in the company jet, but it'd be nice to be able to afford a decent car of my own. You gotta hand it to Billy Kramer. He may look like a pork chop, but when it came to the negotiation table, that man was the heavyweight world champion. Damn. You said there's a letter? What letter? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not afraid of you. And I'm not squealing to you about any letter involving my boss.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about the ghost legends surrounding this hotel from the innkeeper, Anna. I'm a tough guy, but that ghost stuff terrifies me. Clowns too. Billy Kramer's weird daughter showed up in one of her spooky costumes and knocked the wits out of me.
Oh.
There I was, guarding the door from the lounge to the den like I was supposed to do, when suddenly the door quietly opened and I was startled by what I saw. I realized this must have been his daughter Lena, the costume designer, in one of her Halloween costumes she always wears. Her costume looked like the white lady in the ghost legend the innkeeper mentioned. I tried to play cool and not look scared, but you won't see me messing with ghosts. Besides, I could still hear my boss talking away in the den.
Mut mitä jos se ei ollut enää hengissä siinä vaiheessa? Mitä jos se soitti? Mitä jos se ääni tuli niistä kaiuttimista? Se kun sä sanoit, että he could hear the boss talking, niin mitä jos se ääni tuli niistä kaiuttimista siinä niinku tietokoneessa? Ja se oli jo tappanut siinä vaiheessa. Eli se on vähän niinku se ghost-ihminen, joka nyt, kuka se nyt onkaan sitten ollut se ghost. Niin se on niinku se, joka on ollut viimeinen, joka on nähnyt sen elossa sen äijän. Basically.
After that, I tried to forget about the ghost and kept watch outside the door while my boss and his meetings with the lawyer ended. I never saw anyone else enter or leave the den after that. Later, after the lights went out, the talking in the room stopped. Nervously, I opened the door to check on the senior Mr. Kramer. He was dead.
Se on todellakin niin, okei. Siinä vaiheessa, kun se on ollut siellä sisällä se ghost-tyyppi, se on tappanut sen Kramerin. Koska se on ollut ainoa ihminen, joka on nähnyt sen siinä vaiheessa elossa. Eli se on ollut jo kuollut siinä vaiheessa, kun se on tullut ulos sieltä. Noniin.
Where was I when the lights went out? I was outside the den guarding the entrance the whole time, just like my boss wanted. Since that former employee showed up and crashed Mr. Kramer's party, he insisted I didn't let any more unwanted intruders see him. Did you hear that creepy ghost singing that started when the lights went out? I tried to cover my ears and drown out that horrible ghost singing. I don't want that ghost entering my dreams when I'm sleeping. There's no way somebody could have gotten past me into the den when the lights were out. I stood guard the whole time.
Okay.
I think his daughter Lena killed him. She hasn't even left her room since the lights went out. She's the only one around here who dresses up in costumes, so it had to have been her.
Mitä jos se oli sen costume? Mitä jos joku varasti sen Leinan kostyymin? Mitä jos se on niinku silleen, että se ei oo siis se itse Leina, mutta sillä on se asu ja joku varasti sen, että se tietää, että joku oli vienyt sen asun. Ja sit se on ihan niinku broken siitä. No niin, that's all for now.
What is the bodyguard guarding?
It seems like there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can somehow find a way to make him tell us everything he knows. Okei, eli sillä on siis edelleen vähän niinku jotain, mitä sen pitäisi kertoa meille.
Doggy treat! Yeah!
Carol Winters. Oh my god, onko sulla joku... me katsoin, että se näytti sillä, että sillä oli joku ankka. Me katsoin, että sillä on niinku semmonen joku maski päällä, mikä on niinku ankka. Mut ei, se on vaan sen naama. LOL. No niin, Carol.
Are you two here to solve my boss's murder? Activision Games and its employees are depending on you. Suspect added to case file. Carol Winters, the victim's secretary. My name is Carol Winters, and I was assistant to the senior Billy Kramer. As you must know by now, he was one of the most powerful people in the video game industry, if not all of software and entertainment. Billy was known as a man who drove a hard bargain, but he always took good care of his lowly secretary anyway. I'm just concerned about what will happen to Activision Games and our thousands of employees in the face of this buyout deal with Comp Inc. Billy was responsible for the well-being of many people. Hopefully, his son has inherited his father's capable leadership skills, though, honestly, I have my doubts. Billy got all kinds of threatening notes. He might not have taken them seriously, but I did. At least one person who said they were going to kill him was serious about it. If you're as good of a detective as I've heard, then you'll be able to figure out who murdered him.
Oh, the ghost.
I don't believe in ghosts or paladins or any of that stuff, but I did hear the singing earlier when the lights went out. There's something strange about the Crested Montage Hotel, that's all I can say. Billy had been here before, along with the creative director, Gary Small, as well as Russell Galland, the deceased creative genius. It was 2 years ago.
Siis se Russell Galland on se, joka kuoli siinä ekassa pelissä. Se creative genius. Eli tää kaikki varmaan jotenkin tie down siihen ekaan.
He had me book the arrangements, of course. Billy never talked about wanting to return to this hotel specifically. It was the Comp Inc. attorney, Ned Dillman, who talked him into it.
Okay.
When the lights went out, I was here in my room relaxing. At my age, I don't have the energy that I used to have anymore. This was supposed to be like a vacation. I'd gone downstairs to share a crappa toast with the victim's daughter, Lena, and then I came back up here. I was going to write a new diary entry. Billy had a lot of enemies. Any number of people at Activision Games might have had it in for him, even with the company's stock price as high as it is, or high it was. But I'm also wondering about Ned Dillman, the lawyer from Comp Inc. What if he thought Activision's stock prices was a little too high? Could he have killed him over a negotiation dispute with the buyout?
I guess we never know. A diary entry. Niin se oli ainakin about to.
Snacks! Yay! Snackies! Hello, Gary!
He's dead! This is crazy! He's really dead! What's gonna happen to the Paladin Dream game franchise now?
Suspect added to case file, Gary Small, creative director at Activision Games.
I started at Activision Games as a quality assurance tester and rose to the rank of creative director after the late Lord Russell Galland passed on. I reported directly to Billy Kramer, the first. To be honest, I don't think the senior Billy Kramer or his son cared about what I did with the Paladin Dream franchise, as long as it continued to make money hand over first. So when I heard that he intended to sell the company to Comp Inc., it put my job in jeopardy. Paladin Dream is Activision's cash cow, and what happens to the fans when Comp Inc. starts messing up the game? They'd be fools to think they can do without me.
A letter? What exactly did this letter say?
Well, my boss did make a lot of people upset, and some of them gave him feedback about it. I don't know anything about what you're talking about, though. Voisiko tää Gary olla se, joka on lähettänyt niitä, jos sitä on vähän vituttanut koko keissi?
I heard the ghosty singing just before the body was discovered. It was spooky. Something out of a video game like Paladin Dream. Did you know that 2 years ago I was at this same little hotel with Billy and Lord Russell Gallant, the deceased game creator? Can that be a coincidence? Not really, I don't think so. I just got back from my walk around the mountain ridge. Is my wife still out skiing with the trainer? Yeah, they're on the slopes with Mike and Sarah Jones. After this company retreat ends, I'll be putting everyone on mandatory forced overtime to make sure our new game doesn't miss the ship straight. What's happened to you, Billy? When you hired me years ago, you were so passionate about making great games. Now it's all about profits. Someone's gotta make sure we don't miss our ship straight. You creative types don't know the difference between a balance sheet and a bit sheet. You should take some time off work yourself, too. The first time we went to this resort 10 years ago, I found something when I was exploring the mountain that could make a guy like me rich. You found what, Lord Gallant? That's right, when you're passionate and dedicated, sometimes the inspiration just comes and the wealth finds you. I could use some of that wealth about now. A game tester's salary isn't exactly enormous. Follow your dreams. You never know what treasures you might find. There's treasure hidden here on this mountain for anyone with the bravery to chase after it. You're saying you found treasure here on this remote mountain peak? Sure, Jerry. Take a leap of faith. Trust me. Alright, that's enough blathering from you two. Treasure on the mountain? I still don't know what Lord Gallant meant by that little speech. Me veikkaan, että se on ehkä figure of speech. Minä ehkä sanoisin, että täällä voisi olla niinku ihan ihan sellainen niinku semmonen sairas mikään treasure case tai silleen, että se olisi niinku oikea ehkä kuitenkaan. I was here in this room when it happened. I came on this trip in hopes of making one last plea with my boss not to sell the company. But he and the Comp Inc. lawyer spent hours negotiating every last detail. Unfortunately, I never had the courage to barge in there past his bodyguard. Se tiesi, että sillä oli se bodyguard siinä oven edessä. They say that to solve a murder mystery, you're supposed to look at who benefits from the death. In this case, the answer to that question is easy. The beneficiary is his son, Billy Kramer II. With his father murdered, now Billy Kramer Jr. is in line to take over the company, and he can do whatever he wants. It's not fair. Whether it's under Comp Inc. or Junior Billy Kramer's poor leadership, he'll probably chase away all the fans, and I'll be out of a job. Okay. The creative director seems on edge. It seems like there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can somehow find a way to make him tell us everything he knows. Siis meidän pitää löytää joku juttu. Ooh, let's go. Let's go. Oh. Ah, ducky treat. Yay. Let's eat it. Lana! The victim's daughter. Look at her skin. She's dead! There's been another murder! No niin. Mä ajattelinkin, että eikö se on varmaan vaan sen asu tai jotain. Okei. Ups. She's a zombie?
How long was I asleep? Who are you? You don't look like you work for Activision.
Suspect added to case file, Lana Kramer, the victim's daughter.
I guess my makeup is pretty convincing. I had you fooled. You're saying that my father is dead? He's been murdered? That's what this is all about? I'm sorry. My tears must be ruining my makeup. Gosh, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to react. He and I weren't exactly close, but I never wished something like this on him. My father spent all his time devoted to running Activision games and was an absentee for most of my life. Absentee. Sometimes I wonder if he even knew I was even alive. I was hoping that after he sold his company to Comping, that his attitude would change. That's why I'm here at this party, and why I'm wearing this zombie makeup. I was planning to trick him into thinking I was dead, and hoping might get him to rearrange his priorities a little. Before I fell asleep in my hotel room. I'm a professional costume designer, after all. My brother's Billy Jr. joined Activision, but I don't want any part of my father's ruthless business practices.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my father got death threats all the time. Lots of nerd rage over high prices and microtransactions mostly. He never took anything like that seriously. He always kept that big, burly bodyguard tied around so nobody messed with him. My dad had enemies. I'm not gonna lie, it's because of the way he treated people. I'll save you some time and tell you to your face that he and I weren't on the best of terms.
Oh, that's nice.
I heard the innkeeper Anna talking about the area being haunted. I spent most of my time on movie sets in the city. This is my first time up this high in the mountains. It's interesting because several months ago I received an anonymous commission to make a costume that looked like the ghost in that Alpine legend, the White Lady. Yeah, that was it. I even bought some costumes with me on this trip. There's not much space in these little hotel rooms, so Anna kindly agreed to store them in the hotel basement. If you go down to the storage room, you'll find my costumes there.
Ja sitten mistä me se yksi on poissa, eli just se Hitsi White Lady costume.
I didn't even know my father had died. I was in here, asleep. Or was I drugged? I wonder. I love my wine as much as the next gal, but even in the past, when I drank that much, I've never been conked out like this before. Earlier today, I was drinking crappa with my dad's secretary, Carol Winters, to celebrate the buyout deal. If someone drugged the bottle of crappa, how come I'm the only one who was affected by it? If you can find the bottle of crappa, can you let me know if somebody put something in it? One way or the other, it sounds like I slept through these horrific events. My father surrounded himself with aggressive business types. That was his way. He never worried that somebody in his circle would be even more unscrupulous than he was. But the way he took advantage of people was totally reprehensible. He called it negotiating. But it was really just finding ways to make people indebted to him so he could control them. Take Ty Lipson, my dad's bodyguard, for example. He knew Ty was desperate after Ty's boxing career ended, and he paid him as little as possible. If a dangerous man like Ty Lipson needed money and resented my father, there's no telling what he might stoop to.
Well, that is true. Okay, interesting. Indeed interesting. Okay.
Doggy tree, yay.
Oh. Hidden clue? It's a pink slip. This memo details executive Sandra Berg being terminated from Hacktivision by the murder victim. The memo accuses her of sending her boss a death threat as a cause for firing. She's called a danger to the company and buyout bid from Comp Inc. It's signed Billy. You're right, Cleo. The letter we received was signed William Kramer first. But if the man called himself Billy and signed his official paperwork that way, could that mean that the letter we received really wasn't from him? Did somebody else impersonate Billy Kramer first and send us that letter? No jaa, minä veikkaan, että se on ehkä toistepäin.
I should never have come here. This was a mistake. A professional like me should have known better.
Sandra Berg, Executive Director of Sales with Hacktivision Games, recently terminated.
The senior Billy Kramer was my boss at Activision Games. I worked there for 3 years until what happened recently. Mr. Kramer poached me from his largest competitor by making me a deal that was too good to turn down, including a provision for a very large bonus in the event that the company was sold. I was the one who initially introduced Billy Kramer first to Comp Inc. and set up the initial meeting with their acquisition lawyer Ned Tillman. After several rounds of negotiations, Mr. Kramer told me he received a promising offer. The next thing I knew, I was fired! The whole thing was ridiculous. I don't care what that greedy bastard or his fool of a son have to say about it. Let's see. I met with Billy a couple of hours before the lights went out.
Ooh.
You can't fire me! If it wasn't for me, this big buyout deal wouldn't even be on the table.
Well, Sandra, if you...
Ai niin, mikä tämä ääni oli? Me unohdin jo. Se oli jotenkin se...
Well, Sandra, if you have the audacity to send me to a death threat, then that's what happens.
This is ridiculous! You have no proof that I wrote you that note. Why don't you at least let me read it?
Look at yourself. You're crazy enough to show up at this private party as an uninvited guest. A private party for a firm that you no longer work at. How did you even find out about this event anyway? Who told you? Never mind.
Mark my words, Billy Kramer. I'm gonna get the bonus you promised me, or there's no telling what I'll do to you. What I'll do to you.
Fine, sell this unhinged woman out of here. Now, do your job.
Hei, mutta kattokaa, se Ned on täällä. Ned on täällä samassa huoneessa kuin missä ne oli ja missä tää Billy murhattiin. Elikkästä. Jos Tai vei ulos, jos Tai vei Sandran ulos ja jäi siihen ovelle niinku olemaan, niin voiko se olla, että tää Ned on tappanut Billin? Ehkä?
Alright, you heard Mr. Kramer, Mr. Burke. I'm gonna need you to ask you to leave.
I'm gonna need to ask you to leave. That's what I'll say. Damn.
I knew he was a penny pincher, but I didn't think he'd stoop so low to get out of paying a finder's fee. Coming all the way to Italy to confront my own boss was a horrible idea, no matter how unfair my situation is. Are you talking about the death threat? Billy Kramer fired me because he said that he received a death threat and blamed me for it. That was a lie. Why would I have wanted to kill my boss? Even if I had sent my boss a death threat, it's not like he took that stuff seriously. Activision customers sent him threatening notes every time we raised our prices, and he didn't bat an eye. I heard that spooky singing when the lights went out, but I don't believe in ghosts. Kramer's bodyguard Ty Lipson is terrified of ghosts though. And Kramer's daughter Lena worked as a costume designer on some horror flicks. When the lights went out, I was downstairs in the lounge. I was fuming over my lost bonus. I need the money to pay off my mortgage. I saw you and your dog as you both walked in the front door. The senior Mr. Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters, may look like a sweet old lady, but appearances can be deceiving. Carol knew everything about what went on with the senior Billy Kramer, and she wrote it all down in her diary. Carol Winters was never happy about the buyout and always concerned about how it would affect Activision's thousands of employees.
Okei, eli tää väittää, että se olisi se Carol. Oh, I'm not so sure. Based on the innkeeper's description, the victim's bedrooms must be the big one at the other end of the hall. The Emperor's suite behind that blue rug. Okei, mutta eikö me nyt käydä kuitenkin ensin noilla muualla? But I don't know. Ja Ned on siis se, joka on oikeasti ollut siellä huoneessa. Niin mie epäilen sitä.
Found a clue. It's Activision Games company balance sheet. This document shows details of the company's buyout. Comp Inc. agreed to buy the company's stock at an all-time high price. When this deal went through, it would have made Billy Kramer one of the richest people alive. Comp Inc. would even have taken out a bank loan to cover the costs. There's a provision for Sandra Burke to get a big cut of the deal, but Activision's other executives and thousands of employees would have been at the mercy of their new owner. The terms of the deal are great for Billy Kramer. First, good for Mrs. Burke, and very risky for everybody else involved. Could the solution to the senior Billy Kramer's murder be hidden in the fine print somewhere?
Eli ne kukaan muu ei siis, mutta sitten, miten voi olla, että se... Eikö se ei ollut Sandra? Oliko se Sandra? Vai oliko se sen vaimo, joka niinku... kans oli... Ollaanko me juteltu sille sitten? Ei välttämättä olla ollenkaan. Okei, Billy Kramer. Eikö mikä Ned Dillman?
Now that there's been a suspicious death, I guess we do need a detective here after all.
Se on tämä, mutta tää Nedhän oli siinä ovella, kun me tultiin sisälle. Niin, mutta... Oh my god, se murha tapahtui ennen, koska mehän todettiin jo, että se ei voinut tapahtua sillä hetkellä, kun se kuuli, kun ne valot meni. Ne valot sammu sen jälkeen, kun se oli jo tapettu. Eli siinä tapauksessa, kun tää Ned on ollut siellä huoneessa, niin se on todennäköisesti voinut tappaa sen ja tulla sieltä ulos pukeutuneena siksi kummitukseksi ja tulla tapaamaan meitä sinne aulaan. Mitä jos se on kutsunut meidät ja vähän niinku luonut sillä alibin, koska me nähtiin se siinä aulassa. Niin me ei voida niinku sanoa, että... Tai niinku mikä olisi parempi alibi? No se, että se niinku, kun poliisi tulee tutkimaan murhaa, niin sitten se, niinku, että se poliisi itse on nähnyt sut siinä paikalla. Niin mikä nyt olisi parempi alibi? Ei mikään. Best. Okei. Suspect added to case file. Ned Dillman, Esquire corporate buyout agreement lawyer for a company.
There's nothing I can tell you about Billy Kramer. Billy Kramer the first. Mä sanon tuon väärin, mä sanon sen vaikka se on the first. Founder and president of Activision Games that you can't find in the company's stock report. I was proud to sit on the other side of the desk from him, working for Comp Inc. We had recently finalized the terms of the deal. Comp Inc. had agreed to buy Activision for billions of dollars, and the senior Mr. Kramer was poised to become one of the world's richest men. Billy Kramer's finesse at the negotiation table was second to none. He pushed the envelope whenever he could and drove a hard bargain, but my employee, the world's leading computer conglomerate, has deep financial coffers. I even helped him organize this trip to the Alps as a celebration for him and his accomplishments. I hoped that the mountain air and a stiff drink would ease his ruthless disposition, but found out that the man doesn't ski and he doesn't drink.
Nice.
Yes, you mentioned earlier that you had received a letter in the mail from the late Mr. Kramer. He denied it. Even after his untimely death, I still maintain my stance that Billy Kramer never would have sent a letter to a detective. This is a man who received mountains of hate mail from angry gamers and just shrugged. I can't say I'm surprised that somebody wanted to kill Billy Kramer. But
minä sanon koko ajan Billy Kramer se on Billy Kramer the first.
But I am surprised that he would seriously worry about it.
Are you arguing that there's a strong case for his death being some kind of a supernatural murder?
The blackout, the ghostly singing, the legend of the white lady apparitions curse. This is definitely outside my specialization. Anna, the innkeeper, certainly seems to take it seriously.
When the lights in the hotel went out, I was with you, detective. The only person who was near the den at that time was Billy Kramer Sr.'s bodyguard, Ty Lipson. If Ty wanted to kill his employer, he could have taken him down with a single punch. He wouldn't have needed a Roman dagger to do it. Unless he wanted to be extra devious, I guess. I don't think Ty's got the wits for that. The innkeeper, Anna Russo, seems to be going through a lot of trouble over this supposed ghost legend. I don't know what to think about that. Do you think it's possible that she somehow concocted this supernatural murder to drum up attention for this little hotel? As you can see, it's not exactly a popular destination right now. I'd keep an eye on that innkeeper if I was in your position, detective. Ihan hyvä vinkki kyllä. No ei ihmekään sitten. This is the door to the guest room where the victim was staying, the Emperor's suite. It's locked. That's odd. I wonder if the innkeeper has the master key. Oh, okay. Ai niin, oliko täällä muuta?
Doggy treat!
Nice. Ups. Väärä. Hello, Billy. You again, detective. I'm sick of my time being wasted like this. Suspect added to case file, Billy Kramer. The second, vice president of Activision Games. A victim. My father will hear about this! Was the founder and president of world-famous Activision Games. Now that he's gone, the company passes on to me. What am I gonna do about Daddy? How am I supposed to run the company on my own? I should have spent more time paying attention in those meetings and less time watching 1980s police dog cartoons. You're asking whether my father received any strange letter. Sir, of course he did. All kinds of angry gamers wrote complaints all the time. What would you expect? He never took anything that came in the mail seriously, of course. It was all just business to him. And he certainly wouldn't have called on some two-bit detective with a dog and flown them out to our private blowout party here in the Alps. Damn, tää on kyllä, en tiedä onko tää niinku sellainen niinku vihanen poika vai silleen, että onko se surullinen, koska siis loppupeleissä luulis, että jos sun isä on just kuollut, niin jos se olisit niinku tavallaan edes vähän surullinen. Mutta ehkä se on nepo baby. Tai nepolapsi, niin ei voi sitten sanoa, että se olisi surullinen. Aika sad. Ghost. My father booked his hotel 2 years ago too. He didn't say anything about it being haunted back then. Between you and I, Daddy's big burgly bodyguard Ty Lipson is absolutely terrified of ghosts. Clowns too. Back at the office, I used to play spooky pranks on him when I was supposed to be working. Where was I when the lights went out? Are you kidding? I was standing there right in front of you in the lounge entrance. What kind of detective are you? How long until this storm stops and the real police show up? Sandra Burke, the former Activision executive, wanted my father dead. She even said so herself. My father recently terminated her, and for good reason. I can't believe she had the audacity to show up here and protest. How Sandra even found out about this place is a mystery to me, but my father had Ty promptly throw her out. You said that Sandra Burke came here to protest being fired. Why would she do that? That's our company policy is none of your business. I don't have the answer to you. You're not even a cop. Such a noisy amateur detective. Eli siinä on joku juttu kai. Why isn't the victim's son telling me the whole truth? Who is he protecting? It seems like there's something he's hiding. Maybe we can find something. Niin. Mä veikkaan kanssa siis jotain on kyllä sellaista, mitä se ei nyt sano. Aika jännä. Ja mä piti käydä siellä ihme... väärä nappi. Ei. Täällä. Hello, Anna. Are you saying that I'm a suspect too? What connection could I possibly have to these American corporate types? No, kyllähän me tiedetään. Suspect added to case file, Anna Russo, Crestody Montaigne's hotel innkeeper. Master key! Billy Kramer, I and his staff booked this hotel for the week. I was told that they were celebrating some kind of corporate merger. I recognized him and one of the other guests from seeing them here 2 years ago. Otherwise, this place doesn't get many visitors anymore. Not single ghostly doings have been happening around these parts anyway. I certainly wasn't privy to the inner workings of a businessman like Billy Kramer the first. But if you want to find out more, you should go take a look in his bedroom upstairs. Naturally, he booked the Emperor's suite for himself. It's the big room upstairs at the end of the hall on the left. Oh, was the victim's bedroom locked? Yes. Pystytään sulta master keytä. Well, you've read the book about the White Lady's spirit haunting this area. There's been a lot of mysterious circumstances at this hotel surrounding the ghost legend, but this is the first time somebody's ever died because of it. Just be careful, detective, especially with the snowstorm going on. I was at the front desk earlier. At the time when the lights went out, I heard that horrible singing. Okay. I am suspicious of the one staying in guest room 3, the one they call creative director named Gary Small. 2 years ago, Mr. Small was here at the hotel with Billy Kramer the first, as well as original creator of Paladin Dream, Russell Gallant. Now Kramer and Gallant are both dead. Gary Small kept muttering something about a parchment and treasure on the mountain. I had to keep warning him not to venture outside the hotel without crampons. I think he's out of his mind. Oh. Oi! Right, now it's hard to build up a case against any of the suspects based on where they were when the lights were out. According to the suspect testimonies, the victim was alone in the den with his bodyguard just outside the room. Everyone else was either here in the lounge or alone in their bedrooms. It seems impossible that anyone could sneak past Ty Lipson into the den to kill Billy Kramer first when the lights went out, unless Ty himself is the murderer, of course. Jeps, mutta me tarvitaan vielä sen master key. Why do you need the master key? I don't want you going into my office or the basement. Those areas aren't meant for guests. I need the key so I can enter the murder victim's bedroom. Very well, just be careful wandering around in this old hotel. Hey, what happened to the key? It's gone! Oh, that's right. The attorney, Ned Dillman, asked me if he could borrow it earlier, so I gave it to him. Sillä Nedillä oli se avain koko ajan! Oh my god! You should ask him what he did with the master key. That same key also unlocks my office, which leads to the hotel basement. Se on niin oikeasti käynyt hakemassa sen asun. Joo, äkkiä, let's go! Otakaa net, se oli täällä ylhäällä. Yeah! Ha. You're looking for the hotel key? I borrowed it from the innkeeper earlier. I was planning to lock up the den with the dead body in it until you were ready to investigate. Mutta siis mitä, siis hetkinen, ethän siis saanut tietää siitä, kun vasta siis, Miten sä tiesit siitä muka niinku ennen meitä, tai siis me tultiin yhtä aikaa. Ne valot sammui ja sitten oli joku kuollut, niin miten sä niinku tiesit siitä ennen kuin kaikki muut, tai siis... That's weird. You are so sus. The innkeeper said I could have it to look for clues. I don't see a search warrant or even an official police badge. Let me remind you that any business document and technical equipment found in this hotel are property of Activision Games and Compinc. Don't even think about laying one finger on my briefcase without procuring the proper paperwork. All I want is to figure out who murdered Billy Kramer. the first. I have no personal interest in the affair other than bringing the killer to justice.
Very well, the master key is yours. Wait! It's not in my pocket! Someone took it from me! The senior Billy Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters, came up to me and started talking. I got distracted. Yes, I think precisely that Carol Winters took the hotel key. If you want to find it, you should ask her about it next. Why a mere secretary would take an interest in such important affairs is beyond me, though.
Ooh, okei. Interesting. Yhtäkkiä ne niinku syyttämään, tai niinku sanoo, että se on... Oliko se Carol tässä? Se oli mun mielestä alakerrassa ehkä. Joo. No niin, the master key. Please give us.
You're looking for the hotel key.
All right, it's true. I swiped it from Ned Tillman when he wasn't looking. I used it to lock Billy's hotel room after his death. I suppose a private dick like you wouldn't understand why someone like me would do that to you.
All right.
I took the hotel master key to protect Billy and protect the company after his death. Activision Games is filled with company secrets, some of which Billy kept with him in his hotel bedroom. The company's secrets need to stay private, no matter what. Who knows what could have happened if all this classified information got out into the press? It would be chaotic. It could even affect the company employees or selling the company. Mutta eihän se ite niinku hyödy siitä ollenkaan, niin miksi se on niin... Tai siis But now that Billy's dead, we need you to investigate what happened. Here, take the hotel key and unlock the door to Emperor's suite upstairs. No matter what, just find out who murdered my boss. Mun mielestä kuulostaa vähän omituiselta, että se on sen pomo ja sit se on noin niinku interested. Tai sille tiettikö, että se on niinku noin todella kiinnostunut siitä niinku... Tai niinku, että se on niinku hänelle niinku noin henkilökohtaisen tärkeää, että ne secretit pysyy niinku salaisissa. Tai siis kuulostaa, että siinä on vähän niinku joku muukin motiivi. Että se olisi jollain muullakin tapaa mukana siinä yhtiön toiminnassa kuin pelkästään niinku sihteerinä. Tai siis tosi outoa, että se on, eli se on sitten toki, jos se on tosi ollut hyvää pomo ja se on ollut niinku vuosia siinä firmassa ja ehkä jotenkin tällä, että siinä on joku vastuutunne, mutta jotenkin kuulostaa siltä, että siinä on ehkä jotain muuta. You're right, Cleo. Let's open the door to the victim's room and search for clues. Yeah. No more questions. No niin, Cleo.
Cleo! Emma! Cleo! Emma!
Okei, no niin. Let's do it. Let's see what secrets are hiding in the Emperor's suite. Ooh, you unlocked a new area. I checked the map. Nice. Ooh, map. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Onks tää se piha? Eli nyt me ollaan täällä. Mutta tää on varmaan ulkoa. Niinku, että tästä pääsee ulos ja tää on ulko-osaa. Ja sitten tässä on joku rakennus itse asiassa. Joo, Mountain Ridge on tämä. Ja täällä on siis tää Emperor's Suite. Pääseekö täältä sitten Mountain Ridgeen? Siksikö ne aukes tänne meille? Aika crazy. Okei. Okay. No niin, Cleo. Clue! It's a clue. Mitä sieltä tulee? This is a death threat sent to the murder victim. It's a warning to Billy Kramer first, that if he sells out Activision to Comp Inc., then his life will be in danger. No matter how ruthless and aggressive you are at business, there is always going to be someone even more ruthless and aggressive than you. The writing is very explicit and contains detailed knowledge of Activision's inner workings. Who wrote this? The clue is saved to your case file. Cleo deserves a treat. Nice! Ihana Cleo, oli tosi hyvä. Jee, doggy snack! 11/25. Nice. Another clue. Yes. This folder is full of photographs of Billy Kramer. Billy Kramer the First. Toi oikeesti, miksi tää pitäis olla niinku... Tää olisi kivempi, jos tää olisi vaikka roomalainen ykkönen. Koska kun tää on tälleen niinku I. Niin mä joka kerta sanon sen väärin, koska mä luen sen niinku silleen I take. Tiedättekö se niinku... Tää pitäis olla silleen roomalainen numero, niin sitten se ei niinku sekoittuisi tohon tekstiin. Parannusehdotuksia. Taken from his office. What's he doing? It looks like he's at his desk looking at the balance sheet and some kind of threatening note. He's writing somebody a notice of termination, a pink slip. We already found the balance sheet. This looks just like the threatening note we found. We recovered the pink slip. This must be the memo that Billy Kramer first wrote to fire Sandra Burke. Okay. So, this proves that he fired Sandra Burke after looking at the balance sheet, and later he used the death threat as an excuse. Who took the picture, and what were they looking to get out of it? Onkohan joku se, yritetäänkö joku niinku, kiristää meitä sitten jollain, kenties jollakin tiedolla tai jotakin? Okei, no ensinnäkin mua kiinnostelisi tietää, että miksi me saatiin niin iso alue. Hei, pystytäänkö me laittamaan tää päälle? Ei. Wait a damn minute. Mulla on joku semmonen muistikuva, että näissä, jos oli haarniska, niin niissä on jotain salaista. There's definitely a secret corridor right here. I know there is. I am absolutely certain. Pitääks mulla olla silloin tää? Se voi olla. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okei. Ollaan tarkistettu kaikki paikat. Voidaan lähteä tästä ulos. Mitä me nyt niinku saatiin edes tietää? No me saatiin tietää se, että se oli se Billy Kramer first. Lukenut ensin ne laput. Ennen kuin se oli päättänyt laittaa sen Sandran menemään, eikö vaan? Eikö jotakin sellaista nyt luettu tai ymmärretty? Hotel office. No niin. These crampons will allow us to explore the snowy, icy mountain ridge outside. No niin, vihdoin. Now we can go explore the area around the hotel. Crampons obtained. Yay! Kiva. No niin, hidden bookshelf clue. It's the hotel logbook. Logbook. This shows all the guests who have stayed in the Crestidi Montanage Hotel. Now that's interesting. This place used to be a thriving tourist destination, but since 2 years ago the attendance has been very sparse. Some of the few guests staying here have even left the hotel early, before their booked vacation time were finished. I wonder why. Tuo on itse asiassa vähän sus. Jos ne lähtee niinku ennen kuin niiden aika on ohi, onko se niinku säikähtänyt? Tai voiko se olla joku sellainen, että ne on pelännyt, että ne, tai jotakin on tapahtunut? Asiasta pitää ottaa selvää. Palautetta. No niin. Tää oli se basement. This hotel used to have a lovely bar and restaurant down. Miksi minä näin tuolla just jonkun nimikyltin tuolla nurkassa? doggy treat. Oiko se vaan joku tallennuskeissi? Täällä on oikeasti joku ravintola. Cleo found a clue. Nice. Crappa di Opera. This must be the special bottle of crappa that the victim's daughter, Lana Kramer, was drinking from earlier before the murder happened. She said that she drank a lot and then she fell asleep. She thought it might be drugged. What do you think, Cleo? Jännää. Mitä jos se onkin oikeasti ollut niinku jotenkin huumattuna ja sen takia herännyt, kun se isä tapettiin? You're saying it's clean? Eli se ei oo ollut huumattuna. Alright, Cleo, if you say this bottle is clean, then it's clean. That's interesting. Mutta aika jännä, että se sitten usko, että se ois voinut huumata. Tai jännä, että se usko niinku heti silleen, että hänet on huumattu. Miksiköhän se sanoo sitten niin, jos ei se ollut huumattu? Ymmärrän. I totally get it. Niinhän te sanoitte. Minä nyt tarkistan vielä tämän keskustan, että tästä puuttunut mitään. Okei, mitä täällä on? Wow.
Doggy treat.
Yeah. Okei. Hopsista heijaa. Microwave. Hidden clue. This is a police dog comic book. Who reads this? Se on se lapsi, se Billy Kramer Jr. Me aletaan nyt sanomaan niitä itse. Billy Kramer Senior, joka kuoli, ja Billy Kramer Jr., joka on se sen poika, joka on elossa vielä. The victim's son said he liked that show, but I'm surprised he'd take something like this with him on a important trip. Yeah, ihan varmasti. Me pitää käydä kysymässä siltä. Legit. Suspicious. Wow.
Doggy treat.
Tuolla on niitä kostuumeja, okei. Okay, clue. This apparatus is where the electrical fuses for the hotel are stored. I wonder what that computer is for. Everything seems to be running okay now. Niin meidän pitää tietenkin selvittää vielä sekin, että miten ne onnistut niinku pimentämään sen koko hotellin ja sitten tappamaan sen uhrin. Tai kun sekin oli siis se meidän tämänhetkinen epäilty. Meidän kanssa siinä aulassa, kun se murha tapahtui. Eli miten voi olla, että se on niinku tavallaan voinut sammuttaa valot. Eli silloin on niinku täytynyt olla joku kaveri mukana tekemässä sitä murhaa. Ihan absolutely. Täytyy olla. This must be Lana Kramer's box full of the costumes she's working on. Good idea, Cleo. I wonder if I could use these costumes as disguises to get more information out of some of these uncooperative suspects. The bodyguard, the creative director, and the victim's son were all especially dodgy. Maybe this will help with those three suspects in particular, just. Which costume would you like Detective Guy to wear? Oh wow, okei. Se ei tykkää clowneista se ihme, se bodyguard-kaveri, niin voitais olla Ghost Clown. Ja sitten taas se Police Dog me voitais olla, kun me mennään sille niinku pojalle, niin ehkä Paladin ois sitten sille toiselle kaverille. Tai siis sille, mikä se oli se vielä se yksi, joka puuttu. Cleo! Okei, laitetaanko ensin Ghost Clown? Disguise command added to main menu. Nice! Okei. Eli nyt me ollaan clowns. Mennään käymään sen bodyguardin luona sitten heti ensimmäisenä. Let's see if we can use these costume disguises to get more information out of these strange suspects. You're right, Cleo. I've gotta be careful not to look like a complete fool. No en mä nyt tiedä, näytäks nyt minkään
coolilta. Doggy treat. Se ei ollutkaan muuten täällä se kaveri. Siis se oli tässä oveessa aluksi. Ai jaa. Mihin se on mennyt? Onko se sitten täällä? Joo.
Oh my gosh! It's a ghost clown! A ghost! Hey, this is working. This tough guy is really afraid of me when I'm wearing this disguise. Please don't haunt my dreams. Please, no. That all depends on whether you tell me what I want to know.
Mitä me kysytään? Ghosts. Confession. Finished. Detective.
Say, do you remember that detective who was here earlier? Yeah. What about him? Where has he gone to anyway? If he thinks I killed my boss, I'm gonna slug him in the face. I'm sorry I asked.
Ehkä ghosts.
You're a ghost. That means you can read my mind, right?
Yes, that's right. I know all. And if you dare to try and lie to me, then you'll be sorry.
So you know about the time I spilled my energy drink on Gary Small's computer by accident?
Absolutely.
Then you also know about the time I punched a dent in Billy Kramer Jr.'s new Beamer?
That's right. I know everything bad you did, even if nobody saw it.
Then you certainly know about... Oh no! You know about that too!
Mistä?
Tell me what you did, or I will terrorize your sleep forever. It'll be just like that time when you went...
That time when you... got knocked out. Siinä on kahdesti when you. Okay.
Just like that time when you got knocked out. Alright, I was gonna blackmail my boss.
No niin, asia.
Several weeks ago.
You know, son.
En muista mikä äänen me annoin tänne.
Ei se olekaan tällainen ollut, se oli joku muu, minkä minä annoin tälle. Se oli joku vastaava. You know, son. En minä muista, oliko se joku tällainen ja... I've been cranking my brain trying to find a way not to pay Sandra Berg that hefty bonus she's supposed to get when we sell the company. But today I got a death threat. And I figured it out. I guess it's a good thing so many people out there hate me sometimes.
Huh?
Billy, are you paying attention? You need to stop watching children's cartoons when you're supposed to be working.
Oh, what is it, Dad?
Sometimes I honestly don't know whether or not you've got what it takes to run a huge company.
Alright, I'm listening now.
Good. I want you to sneak this death threat into Sandra Burks' desk papers after she's left the office. Then tomorrow we'll both go into her office and act like we just discovered it in her personal belongings.
Oh, why do you want to pin this death threat on Sandra Burke?
If we can frame her for writing this death threat, then I have a justification to fire her. Bye to her huge bonus.
Aren't you at least a little worried that somebody who works for you wants to kill you? Maybe I should call a detective.
Oh, that's not necessary. That's what I have that brainless brute guarding the door outside my office for. Where is he right now? Anyway, I'm only worried about all the money I'd lose if I were forced to pay Sandra Burke's sales commission. Problem solved.
You're a genius, Dad.
Try and learn something, alright, son.
Jotakin tommosta, en mä muista enää tuossa ääntä. This must have been the folder with photographs I found in the victim's bedroom.
I found out that Mr. Kramer was planning to fire Sandra Burke so that she wouldn't get her bonus, then he could keep the money for himself. Somebody sent him a death threat and he blamed it on her without any evidence. I found out about it. I was going to threaten to tell Sandra. Paying me off would have been cheaper for him than risking a lawsuit once she found out. I was waiting for my chance to talk about it when Mr. Kramer... But then somebody really did kill him.
Then what happened to your photographs? The ones you were planning to use to blackmail the victim?
He must have discovered where I hid them. I knew I was gonna be in trouble. I wanted more money, but that doesn't make me a killer.
Nice.
Okay, well, finished.
Interesting.
Ai niin, mutta oliko se nyt niin, että me voidaan vaan täältä?
Disguise. Ooh. Lisa.
Me näytetään poliisikoiralta! Ei vitsi, kuinka söpö! Oh my god, mä ajattelin, että se olisi toi Clio, joka pukeutuu koiraksi, mut se onkin me! Ei! Kunnon Fury costume, ihana! Kiva kaveri tää Billy. No joo, ihan super, kunnon tommonen... niinku... What is it, Dan? Nepo baby. Tai lipsoni on. Joo, siis oikeesti raukkaa ihan paniikissa, kun me mennään kuulustelemaan sitä clownina. Me voitais kyllä käydä pihallakin tutkimassa. Mutta... Ui, meillä on 10 minuuttia aikaa. Ui! Tää on dogitriitti. Käydäänpä... Pitäisikö meidän käydä katsomassa ulkona vähän? Kun... Me ei oo käyty täällä vielä. Oh! There's so much snow that it's hard to see. We've got to be careful about getting turned around while exploring the mountain ridge.
Oh, okay.
Doggy treat.
Doggy treat! Nice. Lisää dogitriittejä. Oho. Doggy treat! Nice.
Wow.
Hello. Mikä se oli? Ollaanko me takaisin täällä in? Me kierrettiin tää ympäri vahingossa. Tai siis, oliks se oltiinko se tää nyt se sanonta, että we got turned around, vai? Näin, ja nyt me ollaan takas. Okei, eli ei oo enempää cluesia täällä. Wow, mä itse asiassa että olisi ollut ehkä vähän enemmän. Me saatiin aika vähän loppupeleissä tältä pihalta. Paitsi täällä! Haha! This notebook belongs to someone working at Activision Games. Todellakin read. Dated 2 months ago. So it's a diary. Sen ihme secretary diary. At the suggestion of the Comp Inc. lawyer, Ned Dillman, we booked the same Italian Alpine hotel for the company holiday party. Maybe it's meant to be symbolic of all the success Activision has had since then. I didn't see Sandra Burke's name on the guest list for the Activision company holiday party though. I wonder why she isn't being included. It must be an oversight. I told Sandra about the party and gave her an invitation myself after all. After all, it's because of the deal she brokered that this whole thing is happening. Dated last month. My boss, Mr. Billy Kramer, Senior, is so accustomed to reading angry letters from gamers that he doesn't know a serious threat when he sees one. Recently, he received a threatening note which warned that if he followed through that and sold the company to Comp Inc., he should fear for his life. So I'm looking for a way to protect Mr. Kramer. He'd be upset if I got the police involved, so I searched through his contacts for someone that might be able to help.
I found the detective team who solved Lord Russell Gallant's murder in Vermont. A Mr. Guy and Cleo. Maybe they could help us again by protecting the senior Mr. Kramer now. Se oli se sihteeri, joka kutsui meidät. I even embezzled some money from my boss to pay for their flights to the company party in the Alps. It was the only way to search the detectives in time. Reach the detective in time. At least I hope it will be fast enough. Every day the danger increases. Who wrote this? Whoever it was, it's responsible for impersonating Billy Kramer and I writing to us, Cleo. The clue is saved. Se on todellakin se sihteeri. Vitsi, voi ei! Väärä! Joo, me luettiin jo tää. Painoin vahingossa. Jee. Noniin. Okei. No me ehditään ehkä just käydä juttelemassa vielä sille yhdelle tyypille. Eli poliisikoira, elikkä se on se poika.
Olisiko se ollut täällä ylhäällä?
Ei kun toi on Sandra. Lana. Se oli Doggy Treat. Yeah! Täällä oli se Ned, joo. Kuka täällä oli? Oliks täällä nyt se poika? Joo.
Hey, it's the police dog. It's about time you showed up.
Hey, this is working. He's going to cooperate with me because I'm wearing this disguise. He did say he wanted a cop after all.
Okay.
I used to watch your TV show all the time. I still do, secretly during the workday when I'm in my office and nobody is looking. Does this mean I get to help you solve a real case that's gonna be on your show? Ruff, ruff! Oh boy, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Ruff!
Just make sure it stays private between us. And certainly don't go yelping about it, you stupid amateur detective, promise.
Are you here to arrest Sandra Berg? Because I think she killed my father.
It's easy, she's the one with the motive. I didn't tell the private snoop, but here's what really happened.
Ooh.
Alright, between us, the real reason Sandra Berg was fired from Activision Games is that my father didn't want to pay her hefty financial bonus when the Comp Inc. buyout happened. Anyway, I helped my father frame Sandra by hiding the death threat in her desk drawer. When she opened her desk in front of my father, it appeared as though the death threat had been written by her. We already found the balance sheet. Billy Kramer Sr. was poised to become one of the richest people in the world when he sold the company. Sandra Berg would have earned quite the commission too. We found the death threat that was sent to Billy Kramer. It read that if the company was sold, then his life was in danger. Why would Sandra Berg have threatened her boss if she was set to make a fortune from the sale? We found Sandra Berg's pink slip. She was fired just as the sale was taking shape. So Billy Kramer and his son planted the evidence which resulted in her getting blamed and fired for a bogus cause. Sandra Berg came here as an uninvited guest to threaten my father, and then she really did kill him. Now that my father is dead, Activision Games belongs to me, but I don't have his cunning talent for running the firm. I just want to watch cartoons.
Kiva tyyppi.
Ruff, ruff!
Okay, no, detective.
Detective Guy maybe an invited guest, and I despise him for humiliating me when Russell Gallant was murdered, but I hate to admit it, he knows what he's doing.
Ai niin, tää Billy Kramer oli siinä ekassa keississä, mä unohin. Niin olikin, tää oli ihan asshole silloinkin.
His methodical, nosy investigation is exposing my own bad judgment, so I just hope you can solve the case before he does. Then I can laugh at him. Come on, police dog, I'm rooting for ya.
Thanks. Okei, no siis se oli vaan siinä. No ei siinä. Joo, siis me pukeuduttiin Detective Dogiksi tyyliin. Oliko se nyt minkä takia? Siis sen takia... Oh my god. Police dog disguise. Niin se oli sen takia, kun me kysyttiin siltä... mikä sen nimi oli sen tyypin? Siis siltä pojalta, että missä se oli ollut. Eli sen pojan isä on tapettu. Niin me yritettiin ylellä siltä, että minkä hiton takia, missä se poika oli. Koska se ei suostunut puhumaan kellekään mulle kuin poliisikoiralle. Ja siksi me pukeuduttiin poliisikoiraksi. Se oli kyllä maailman randomein keissi, mutta joo, tässä me ollaan. Me uskon, että tää Paladin on siis sille... oliko se... tosta, joo. Se oli sille... gamerille, tai siis sille kaverille, joka teki... Ei, Sandra Berg. Kun se äijä, joka teki sen pelin. Missä se on? Nope. Eli todennäköisesti... Meidän pitää vielä kysellä siltä asioita. Ei kun tää oli tää huone. Nyt siis minä en muista enää yhtään, missä me oltiin tässä. Tai kuka oli missä jo milloin jo missä huoneessa. Mutta me löydetään ne varmaan. Tää Carol Winters on mun mielestä ihan älyttömän suspicious. Se on se sihteeri. Tää Gary. No niin.
Paladin! Am I dreaming? Can this be a mystical sign from Lord Russell Gallant, the original game creator who is deceased? What does Lord Gallant want from me?
Hey, this is working. He's actually taking my paladin disguise seriously. Now we can discover what he's been hiding.
As the creative director for Paladin Dream, I've done everything I can to help build on what Lord Russell Gallant started. 2 years ago, I was here at the same mountain hotel with him and Billy Kramer. Ai niin, tässä oli tää itse Billy Kramer the first. Eli tää on the first, eikä ai. Mistä sanon sen koko ajan väärin, koska mä oikeesti luen sen niin. Can that be a coincidence? He and I had this strange conversation where he claimed there was treasure hidden on the mountain. It didn't quite make sense to me. Lord Gallant loved riddles. He was a game designer after all. I'm just not that great at solving riddles, are you? Of course, Billy was all business as always, and he wouldn't have any of it, but I wonder if there really is something to what Lord Gallant said. I hope that I've at least made Lord Gallant proud with my dedication to Paladin Dream.
Oh, interesting.
Forgive me, Lord Gallant. I was the one who wrote the death threat to Billy Kramer the first.
Vai senior Billy Kramer tai joku. Mutta eikö vähän niinku arvattu tämä itse asiassa? Tämä oli sen takana, koska se oli vähän semmonen kummallinen siinä, kun se kiemurteli tästä asiasta. No niin. Elikkä nyt me nähdään tämä kirje sitten. Could this be the death threat referenced in the letter we received from the murder victim, the one summoning us here? He must mean the threatening note we found in the victim's bedroom.
This is all my fault. If I hadn't been foolish enough to write that death threat for my boss, maybe none of this would have happened.
So that was you. Why did you do that? When Hacktivision Games was to be sold to Comp Inc., my job suddenly became in jeopardy. I worked my way up from being only a humble game tester to the creative director for the Paladin Dream game franchise. It's not fair. Everyone knows Comp Inc. bought the company because that game franchise is so lucrative. That's the whole reason this big buyout deal happened. Sure, it's great for business, but what happens to the game when the new owners let me go? Paladin Dream needs me. I'm the one who knew Lord Russell Gallant the best, and I'm the only one capable of thinking like him and making the right decisions. That's why I sent my boss that death threat. I wanted to make it seem like selling the company would put his life in danger, in addition to just my job being in danger. I guess somebody really did plan to kill Billy Kramer Senior all along. No niin, vissiin, koska näin kävi. If Detective Guy knew I sent my boss a death threat, then he'd suspect me as the murderer, so I'm not inclined to help him. But if you really are a legendary paladin from Lord Gallant's game, then maybe you should have this. It hasn't done me any good. Mitä me saatiin?
This parchment contains a riddle that Lord Russell Gallant gave to me. Take this parchment containing the riddle. Maybe it will be of more use to you than it's been to me. Let's read the first line of this riddle.
Oh.
Okay. Step 1. Stand where light and heat once burned next to frozen feet. Oh. Just don't show this riddle to that nosy detective. No, se on me, joten... Okei. Well, that's interesting. Eikö sitä nyt voi ottaa pois meidän disguise? Todennäköisesti tosta ei ole enää mitään. Tai siis mä en tiedä, onko tuossa hyötyä tämän jälkeen enää. Tai niinku, että onko meillä siis tarvetta käyttää meidän noita disguiseja nyt enää mihinkään, kun me kysyttiin jo kaikki niiltä. Toki, mä en tiedä, miten tää nyt vielä niinku kehkeytyy tästä. Mä oon aika varma, että se fire-juttu on ehkä siellä kellarissa, niin me voitais mennä käymään kokeilemassa. Ainakin siis ton riddlen mukaan, niin se voisi olla juuri näin. Ai, ups, anteeksi. Väärä huone. Mistäs me päästiinkään ulos? Oliko se tästä? Ah! Let's take another look at that riddle and see if we can find anything that might help solve this murder mystery. Where is the location that the rhyme describes? Mä uskon, että se on kellarissa, joten me mennään sinne. Bidibuu. Kyllä. Oho, miten tässä niinku jotenkin nolla valot meni jotenkin niinku semmoseksi, eikö mennytkin pimeämmäksi? Siis minä jotenkin ajattelisin, että se olisi täällä se... Riddle's location, ottakaas. Se oli joku, täällä oli joku sellainen fire, tämä. You can change disguise. Mut ei me haluta. Me vaan oletetaan, että tämä ehkä on... Okei. No ei sitten. Ottakas, mitä se nyt sanokaan? Riddle. Stand where light and heat once burned next to frozen feet. Light and heat on mun mielestä, se voisi olla siis sellainen niinku takkatuli tai vastaava, mutta ehkä niinku toi next to frozen feet on... Siis voisiko se olla ulkona ehkä kuitenkin? Olisiko se kuitenkin siellä? Käydään kattoo. Mutta toki tässähän se voi... Tai... Voisiko olla? Stand next to. Mut se, jos on frozen feet, niin todennäköisesti se on varmaan ulkona. Tai siis missä muualla olisi frozen feet? Frozen feet. Stand next to light ja jotain. Okei. Mitä tapahtuu? Se oli se kissa, mutta se lähti johonkin. Onks se tää? Okay. This fireplace out in the snow seems to be the spot mentioned in Lord Gallant's riddle, but what happens next? Step 2. Chase after your spirit guide to the leap of fate down the mountainside. What's that supposed to mean, Cleo? Toi on kyllä hyvä kysymys. Tuo kissa. Chase after your spirit guide. That alpine lynx, that's it. Cleo, you're a dog. Go after that cat.
Missä se on? Cat! Where's the cat? Look, Cleo, there's the lynx near the mountain ledge. What's it doing? Oh. Chase after your spirit guide to the leap of faith down the mountainside. That must be the leap of faith. Yikes. Let's see what happens. Okay. Whoa! Whew, that was close. The soft, deep cushion of snow here broke our fall. Well, nice. Look, the mouth of this secret cave is hidden by the walls of the mountain. Nyt on tallennettu. No niin, jotakin jännää tapahtuu. Me en saa edes puhua. Okay, you unlocked a new area. Check the map menu for an updated map. Let's see what Lord Gallen's riddle says next. Oh, vitsi. Ooh, behind a statue in this cave lies a secret to save. Save eikä save, mut joo. Okay. Wow. Oh. Oh, it's some climbing rope. Joku on muukin ollut täällä. This will be useful when we need to get out of this cave and go back to the hotel. Minä ajattelin, että tämä on ihan sellainen, niin kuin, joka on ollut täällä jo aikaisemmin. Tai että joku on käynyt. It's a treat! Doggy bag! Näin! Mikä se oli? Oh! Se oli lepakko! Mä sain että mikä hitto? Behind the statue. Mikä tää on? Tää on siis... näyttää vähän sängyltä. Mut se ei sano siitä mitään. Aika erikoista. Okay, behind the statue. Oh, secret safe. Chamber. Katsokaa 25/25. Me oltiin ihan super tehokkaita löytämään nämä dogibagit tälle Cleolle. It's the deceased game designer Lord Russell Gallen's journal, dated 2 years ago, to my dear friend Gary Small. If you are reading this, then it means you've solved my riddle. Congratulations! When I was exploring the mountain ridge, I fell and happened on the entrance to this cave. It looks to be an old Christian hermitage from medieval times. The incredible dream I experienced in this cave became the basis for my game, Paladin Dream, which went on to make me very wealthy. So, you see, the true meaning of my riddle is that imagination is priceless. May chasing your dream lead you to fortune, like it did for me. But if that's a little too hokey, then there's also something for you in that treasure chest. I've left it for you, Gary. I know you'll take better care of it than anyone. I did, but okay. Paladin sword? This isn't going to help us solve the mystery. The blade's not even sharp. It might make a good souvenir though. Voi detective guy. Se oli ihan pettymysten perämoottori. Hetkinen, nyt toi sänky on niinku... Huh? I feel sleepy all of a sudden. What's happening? Why am I dressed like a paladin? Oh my god, onks tässä joku taistelukohtaus? Apua! Eikä me saatiin miekkakin, miettikää! Apua! Noniin, vitsi! Combat! Mie arvasin! Ai niin, tää! Me tehtiin tätä siinä viime pelissä. Okei. Bite, bark. Scare the enemy with a loud animal noise for 1 to 3 turns. Mitä muuta tehdä? Stop and think about the case, not too usual here. Sword that heal. Okei, sword. Cleo. Mitä mun pitää tehdä? En tiedä, mitä mun pitää tehdä. Cleo barking scares the enemy. 54, attack! Okei. Noniin. Ja nyt mun pitää taas valita niinkö. Okei, Cleo. Mitä oli heal? Heal by eating some delicious dog food. Bark. Bite. Powerful bite attack from a tough dog. Mielestäni tää bark on aika hyvä, kun se säikäyttää aina ton enemin 1, 2, 3 turns. Mun mielestä tää bite oli huono ainakin viimeksi. Miten tää vaihtaa tähän? Guy. Noniin. Sword. Kyllä se nyt vielä voi ottaa yhden. Okei. 80. 9. Well, that's nothing. Okei. No sit me parkataan taas. Park. Sword. Meillä on taktiikka. 66. Mä en tiedä paljonko tästä tarvii. Meillä ei oo mitään, että paljonko tähän tarvii, mutta siis okei. No siis bark. Tai oikeesti voidaanko me laittaa mieluummin Cleo ätäkkää? Mä oltais voitu hiilata Guy, mut okei, ei sitten. Vielä otat yhden iskuun, it's fine. Joo, eihän tässä tapahdu mitään, okei. Bark. Guy. Sword. Nine. Okei. Okei. Ehkä me voidaan... pitäisikö meidän kokeilla bite? Tähän se sitten tekee. No voidaan me kokeilla. Ehkä vois laittaa Gaille, että heal. Stop and think about the case. Not too useful here. Ehkä heal. It may not taste great, but it's the only food around. Ehkä me vaan laitetaan tupla-attacki. Mä en tiedä mitä se tekee, mut fine. Miss! Okei. Me voitettiin joka tapauksessa. Aika makia. Nice job, Cleo! We did it! GG, ja. It was just a dream. A paladin dream. Eli siis niinku, et legit, kun se on tullut tänne, niin se on oikeesti niinku... Se on niinku oikeesti siis yöpynyt tuossa ja niinku oikeesti nähnyt unia täällä ollessaan niinku tosta. Onko tässä mitään, mitä tässä sanotaan? Ei. Aika jännittävää. Ja täällä ei siis oo kerta kaikkiaan mitään muuta. Anna! What the fuck are you doing here? What are you doing here, innkeeper?
I've gotta give you credit, detective. You found this cave even though I was unable to find anything after searching for 2 years.
Onks tää kaiken takana? Eikä!
I was also here on the day Lord Russell Galland mentioned that he found a treasure somewhere on the mountain ridge. I'm a little embarrassed about how you've shown me up like this, however. The treasure is mine. You can't take it.
Oho! Taistelu!
Okei. Eli onks Kai ensin nyt? Stop! Heal! Well, that makes no freaking sense. Well, I guess. Siis eihän tossa nyt oo mitään ideaa. Miten mä pääsen Cleoon? Miksi mä en pääse Cleoon? No nyt. Bark. Okei. Okay. Why do I have to eat dog food? Scares the enemy. What's gotten into you, innkeeper? You're right, detective. I need to come to my senses. Toi oli ehkä kaikista oudoin tilanne, missä me on ikinä ollut. Mitäs tässä nyt niinku oikeasti edes tapahtuu? Ei oo draamaa, mutta tää on pakko nää popparien kerran. Tässä ei legit ollut mitään. Tässä vaan niinku se, minäpä syön vähän koiran ruokaa ja minun koira haukahtaa. Se äskeinen taistelu oli paljon parempi. Mut mitä ennen? Sinne meni popparit, niin eikö Lilo? Tää oli nyt höpö. Mitä tässä tapahtuu?
I saw you jump down the ledge and I followed you into this cave. Can it really be possible that there's treasure hidden in here?
No siis ei. Tai siis tai siis se treasure on se, että se... Niin... No siis, no...
I see, so no gold, diamonds or anything like that. I should have known better than to listen to that cookie game designer. I can't believe I wasted 2 years looking for nothing. And to think, I even went through the trouble of scaring all the hotel guests away.
What? You scared the hotel guests away?
That's right. I was the one who spread the story about the hotel being haunted. If the guests all left, then I had plenty of time to hunt for the treasure. I overheard Russell Gallen telling Gary Small about 2 years ago. I was the one who caused the power to go out. I rigged up the generator settings to shut off every day at the same time. I'm also responsible for the ghostly singing you heard. I used to sing opera before I became an innkeeper.
Nice.
What about the murder of Billy Kramer the first? No, I didn't kill him. I only wanted to scare my guests, not murder them.
Was it you who dressed up as the white lady? The one who was seen by the victim's bodyguard leaving the den earlier?
Come on, detective. You've searched my entire hotel, including my office. Did you find a costume like that in my possession? Who else knew that the blackout was rigged? The only other person I told was the snowmobile driver. I asked him to tell his passengers about the white lady every time he brought someone to the hotel.
The snowmobile driver? The same one that drove Cleo and I to the hotel?
Yes, he was the one who helped me set up the electrical generator with a mechanical switch timer to create a power outage on Hugh. So he had to know about it.
You went through a lot of trouble scaring guests away so that you had time to look for the treasure Russell Gallen described in the conversation you overheard 2 years ago, but you were unsuccessful.
It sounds like I wasted my time, and from what you say, you wasted your time here too.
Actually, for Cleo and I, this has been surprisingly productive.
But if the treasure in this cave has no value, then I'm going back to the hotel. From now on, instead of scaring my guests away, I'm going to make the Crested Montage into the best hotel in the Italian Alps. I'll start by refurbishing the basement and taking care of the gas leaks in guest rooms 1, 3, and 7.
Gas leaks? 1, 3, and 7.
Then I'll become wealthy like I wanted, and I don't need some mythical treasure or ridiculous ghost stories to do it. I'll see you back at the hotel. You've still got a murder to solve, both of you.
Okei, mitä? Tää oli ihan red herri koko kaveri. Ihan kummallinen ihme. Mie nyt edelleenkään kyllä tiesit, että kuka se oli se tappaja. So if the blackout was planned, that means someone could have known about it and used it as a diversion, niin?
That means when the lights went out, the senior Billy Kramer could have been already dead.
Just tää, mutta nyt tääkin sanoo sen.
We need to find out where all the suspects were before the lights went out. Maybe somebody will slip up.
Time to go back and ask more questions. Eli nyt me niinku voidaan vielä keskustella niitten kyppien kanssa niinku lisää. Mitä ja tänään kanssa kuulkaa tehdä itelle teetä iltapalaksi ja katsoa Hercule Poirottia. Alkoi tekee ihan sikana mieli jostain syystä. Tai ei edes jostain syystä, vaan siis varmaan tästä pelistä nyt jotenkin. Hercule Poirot. I should find out where each suspect was before the lights went out. Mut miksi me ei muuten kysytty sitä jo aikaisemmin? Se on sellainen ensimmäinen kysymys tämmöisessä tutkimuksessa. Oot silleen, että missä sinä olit tähän aikaan? Mut siis legit toki mehän niinku vähän niinku kysyttiin asiaa. Mut sitten vaan todettiin, että ne ei halunnut vastata meille. Mikä oli kans vähän outoa. Ja miksi ne ei niinku heti vastannut? I hope you know what you're doing, because you're getting on my nerves. Mä olin sanomassa not getting on my nerves, mutta you are getting on my nerves. Where were you? Before the lights went out, I was guarding the door to the den. Mr. Kramer had his meetings to attend, and it's my responsibility to keep him undisturbed. I had no idea about what had happened between him and Sandra Burke. Nobody told me she had been fired. How was I to know she'd come here to have it out with him? Okay. I'm certain that I know what I saw, detective, no matter how many times I've been banged up. Sometime after Mr. Kramer's argument with Sandra Burke, his daughter Lena came into the den. No, I never actually saw her enter the room, but she's the only one artsy enough to walk around the office wearing those spooky costumes. Later, I could still hear my boss talking with the lawyer, Ned Tillman, right until the lights went out. I had no idea something was amiss. It sounded just like a normal meeting to me, just like any other time I get watched outside the door to my boss's office. Niin, koska me veikkaan, että ne käytti, siis ne niinku laittoi niistä kaiuttimista sen videon päällä, niin että se kuulosti siltä, että ne oli edelleen keskustelemassa, mutta kukaan ei ollut, niinku se oli kuollut jo siellä ne sisällä se äijä. No way, I'm a firefighter, not a murderer. There are rules in the ring after all. I heard his voice in the room right up until the moment the power went out. Right until that spooky singing. Whoever crept past me to kill him must have been the world's top stealth assassin. No kun siis mä veikkaan, että voisiko se olla sitten se, jos se oli se asianajaja? Niin miten jos se on se asianajaja, joka sen tappoi, sit se asianajaja tuli ulos sieltä huoneesta, sillä oli se kaapu päällä. Ja sitten se vaan laittoi sen videon päälle ja sitten olettiin. Mutta sitten pitäisi löytää motiivisia, että miksi se olisi se. Oho! Okei. Miksi me pysähdyttiin tolleen? Erikoista. Do you have any idea who could have killed my boss? You're asking where I was before the lights went out? I was in the lounge trying to advise Billy's daughter not to drink too much. At least I convinced her to go lie down if she had ran her mouth to her father in front of the combing. Lawyer could have derailed everything. Lawyers could have derailed everything. Ehkä se luki kuitenkin. Let's see. After I walked Lana to her room, I didn't see Billy Jr., Jerry Small, or the innkeeper anywhere. I assume Billy Sr. was still in the den. Moi hei, tervetuloa messikäkiurin kuplalaisetkin. Jee, kiva kun tulitte mukaan. Tervetuloa, toivottavasti viihdyttä. Have a chance of heart and listen to Sandra Burke. Anteeksi, nyt me itekään en lukenut, mitä lukee. Okay. The den. I was hoping he'd have a change of heart and listen to Sandra Burke. Maybe even rehire her. Okay. Of course I didn't kill my boss. It's horrible for the company. What's happened? Don't you see? If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm the one who impersonated Billy Kramer Sr. and sent you and Cleo that letter in the mail. I did it to protect not just him, but the huge payroll of employees that depend on him. Ai niin, tää oli se tyyppi, itse asiassa me unohin. Totta, me saatiin selville tää siinä viime jaksossa, että Carol Winters oli itse asiassa se syy, jonka takia me itse ollaan täällä mökissä. Eli Carol lähetti meille sen kirjeen sillä, että tulkaa tutkimaan tätä aihetta, koska mun pomo saatetaan murhata tyylillä. Ja se niinku jotenkin tiesi sitä asiasta, että sillä oli todennäköisesti joku niinku etiäinen tästä. No niin. I only hope that it wasn't all in vain. That you and Cleo can bring his killer to justice now. Joo. Tuo me tosiaan saatiin siis selville tosiaan tästä, minkä me itse asiassa unohdin ihan kokonaan, että me saatiin se selville. En mä jotenkin ajatellut. Ups. Se yksi kaveri on täällä alhaalla vielä. Gary Small. Ai niin, tällä vois kyllä antaa, vitsi myös tämä Detective Guy, niin mä antaisin sille se niinku aarteen, mikä me löydettiin. Ja susta tuntuu, että hän on aika alhaalla tällä hetkellä, se on ihan loppuun palannut ja ihan done, koska se luulee, että saa potkut sen töistä. Niin mä antaisin sille sen, koska se oli käytännössä vähän niinku semmonen legacy, minkä se Russell jätti tälle. Se olisi ihanaa, jos antaisin sille. How long are you going to keep us all in the dark? Before the lights went out, I was here in my room. I'm not a very social person, I prefer video games. I don't know, I didn't see anybody. No, I was in here, that's right, I was alone. I never even threatened to kill my boss, I promise. Yes, you did, we know. Pitääköhän mä kokeilla tähän sitä... Kokeillaanpa vielä sillä disguisella. I swear, all I ever wanted was to do what's best for Lord Gallant and the Paladin Dream video game. Joo, oikeesti musta tuntuu, että tää oli hyvä ratkaisu. I admit it, I was the one who sent Billy Kramer the death threat when I found out he was planning to sell the company. I had to protect the game. Did you ever find anything from Lord Gallant's riddle? Nothing of much conveniential monetary value. The riddle was more of a metaphor about creativity and inspiration. You can keep the rusty sword. You earned it. I'm taking my old friend's message from the riddle to heart. Moving forward, I'm going to focus more on making sure everyone understands how vital I am to the success of the game. And I don't need to send anybody threatening notes to do that. Or to do it. Okei, eli se oli nyt siinä siis. Mutta me ei edelleenkään niinku saatu tietää, että mikä se oli se, missä se oli. Mutta... Fine. Ehkä sillä ei ole merkitystä. Oho, hups. Tänne. Sandra Berg.
I know it looks bad for me, but I didn't do it. Well, you already know about my altercation with my former boss earlier in the den. After that, I just cooled off in the lounge as I waited for the snowmobile to arrive. The innkeeper saw me, you did too. Detective, if you remember.
Se on totta, se oli siellä loungessa.
Billy Kramer Sr. was in the den along with the lawyer from Comp Inc. His bodyguard was outside the door. I saw the innkeeper in the lounge afterwards. I didn't see much of the Kramer kids before the uproar when you arrived though.
Okay. Lana was probably drinking and working on her art. Billy Jr. was probably watching cartoons and trying to look like he's working. Those were their usual habits.
I may have said that I wanted to kill him because I was angry. What he did was unfair. I was going to file a lawsuit for wrongful termination after I came to my senses.
Okei. No, musta tuntuu, että se ei oo kyllä ollut toi Sandra. Mun epäilys on isoin, että se on se lawyer tai se, joka, että se on niinku kaiken takana.
Any new information, detective? You're asking for my whereabouts before the lights went out. I was in the den with Mr. Kramer working on the legal paperwork to complete the sale of Hacktivision to my employer, Comp Inc. When you and your dog first arrived at the hotel, Mr. Kramer asked me to greet you. Before that, I was in the den the whole time working with Mr. Kramer, who was still very much alive.
Mutta siis sehän ei edes se Mr. Kramer tiennyt, että me ollaan tulossa, koska se oli sen sihteeri, joka oli kutsunut meidät. Elikkä nyt se valehtelee. Eli kun se sai kuulla, että että se Mr. Kramer, kun mehän siis mainittiin tälle, että Mr. Kramer kutsui meidät tänne. Tää ei tiennyt sitä, että Mr. Kramer kutsui meidät tänne. Niin Musta tuntuu, että se nyt kertoo, että joo, siis se vaan sanoo mulle, että mun pitää tulla teitä vastaan. Vaikka todennäköisesti sillä ei ollut edes aikomusta tulla meitä vastaan, mutta siis vaan vahingossa sattui siihen meidän eteen just sillä hetkellä, koska sen alkuperäinen ajatuskin oli varmaan, että se sen jälkeen, kun se tulee ulos sieltä, kun se on tappanut sen äijän, niin se tulee siinä kostyymissä ja yrittää lavastaa sen siskon, sen tyttären niinku syylliseksi siihen, koska se oli sen kostyymi. Ja sitten se tuli siihen niinku kaikkien ihmisten ilmoille, eli vähän niinku siihen aulaan, että olisi paljon silminnäkijöitä, jotka näkisivät, että se on ollut siinä aulassa. Että se ei ole todellakaan voinut olla se syypää siihen murhaan. Mut sitten yhtäkkiä me tullaankin. Ja sitten se on siinä, siis mä olin silloin täällä ja tiedättekö? Musta tuntuu, että se nyt keksii näitä asioita ihan hirveästi. Tää ainakin on valetta, tai siis tämä, että se olisi sanonut sille, että tulee meitä vastaan, koska se ei voinut tietää, että me oltiin tulossa. Well, I assume Mr. Kramer's bodyguard, Ty Lipson, was outside the den guarding the door. That was his job after all. Except for the moment he left, that disgruntled former employee barged through to complain to her former boss. He let that disgruntled former employee barge through the okay. Mrs. Bird, that was it. Okay, she was the one who connected with Comp Inc. when we were looking to buy the game publisher. Mutta mä en uskon, että säkään et saa sitä diilistä mitään. I assure you, I wanted Comp Inc. to buy Activision games as much as anyone. We were going to make a fortune of the Paladin Dream games. Of course, now it seems the whole business deal is going to have to be negotiated again from scratch with Mr. Kramer's son, Billy Kramer Jr. at the helm. What a mess that's going to be. So much redundant work to do. Siis sekin voisi olla syy, että se haluaa sen Billin siihen vähän niinku johtoon sen takia, että sillä on paremmin, niinku, että se pystyy manipuloimaan sitä, koska se on nuori. Niin paljon paremmin kuin sitä sen niinku omaa pomoa, tiedättekö? Se voisi olla oikeasti syy siihen, minkä takia se on silleen, että minä tapoin tämän ihmisen, minä haluan rahaa. Mutta minä en voi manipuloida tätä mun pomoa juuri ollenkaan, joten on parempi, niin kuin tiedättekö silleen, tappaa se, jotta sen lapsi nousee johtoon, jos mä voin manipuloida sitä. Se olisi aika hyvä teoria, eikö oiskin? Musta tuntuu, että se voisi toimia. Okei, jännittävää. Suspect Kyllä, ollaan käyty. No niin, oliko täällä vielä joku? Ai niin, Billy Kramer. Mutta oliko se nyt silleen, että meidän kannattaa olla Billy Kramerille se hiton koira? Koira. Ghost, police dog. Woof! Hey, police dog, you're back. Are you close to solving this mystery? Alright, I'm gonna tell you something I didn't tell the detective. Want to know what I was really doing earlier? This should be good. I was watching cartoons! That's pretty much all I do when I'm at the office, but I look busy. After what's happened, I might have to actually do some real work soon. I'm pretty sure my father knew about it, but kept quiet. Now that he's dead, I've got to figure out how to run the business myself. All I want is for his murderer to be brought to justice, the way it always happens on your TV show. Can you do that for me, police dog? Oh god, okei. Eli se on ollut katsomassa niitä hiton kartuuneja. Oh my god, whatever. Like, whatever. Jeez. Laitetaanpa sitten se Ghost Clown. Sitä meitä ei etty nyt kokeillakaan. Elikkä kukas se nyt olikaan, joka tätä pelkäs? Wow! Siis onks toi niinku ukkonen? Mut meillä on niinku, me ollaan keskellä siis talvimaisemaa. Vähän mietin, että mikä homma. No, it's not true. I was going to blackmail him. I only wanted a fair paycheck. I lied to the detective. I admit that I knew about Sandra Berg being fired, and I figured out that my boss and his son set her up. I just wanted to make a little money to improve my situation. It's not like he made life easier for me. Okei. Ja se ties siitä, mutta siis okei. Mutta siitäkään ei ole mitään hyötyä meille oikeastaan, mun mielestä.
Ruff, ruff.
Ollaanko me nyt puhuttu kaikille? Sille me ei olla vielä puhuttu sillä ainakaan sille... Tälle Lanalle, joo.
You know, lots of people wanted my father dead. Before the lights went out, I was drinking downstairs with my dad's secretary, Carol Winters.
Ooh, cutscene!
Someday I'm going to tell Dad. I just want to lie down.
Oh dear, sweetie, how much have you have to drink?
I'm gonna put on my zombie makeup and make him think I'm really dead, and that'll show him. Then he'll know how it feels to have a daughter he completely ignores because of his job. You know, sometimes I really wish he was dead.
We really need to get you to your room before you do something stupid. Innkeeper, can you please take this bottle somewhere where she can't get it?
Of course, I'll take it down to the basement into storage, along with her box of costumes.
Thank you. I'd better escort this one back to her bedroom now.
You're saying that the crab bottle was clean? Nobody drugged it? Then I wonder what could have happened.
What could have happened? No se vaan juit ihan sikana.
I didn't see anyone else. I was in here asleep. The last thing I remember is Carol Winters helping me into bed. I slept through everything that happened until you and your dog came into my room. Get real, detective. I wouldn't kill my own father. No matter how much he disagreed with my life choices, he's still my dad. All I wanted was to scare him a little bit. Make him think, you know.
Yes, Lana, whatever. I guess. No niin, no tosi niinku... Sehän onkin hyvä tapa. Scare your dad. Siis kenelle me ei nyt olla... Niin se Innkeeper, sille me ei olla puhuttu vielä. Kaikki muut ollaan käyty läpi.
Anna! Go ahead, keep doing your job. Before the lights went out, I was downstairs in the basement checking on the power generator. I wanted to make sure that the power would go off as scheduled. I saw the group drinking crappa in the lounge earlier. Lana Kramer had a lot of drink. I stayed out of the den, of course. I didn't want to interrupt Billy Kramer, the first, and his important meetings. Knock it off, detective. I may have had my reasons for wanting to scare people away from the hotel, but I certainly didn't need to kill anybody to do it.
Okei, no se oli nyt sit kaikki. Okei. The lights! They went out again! You're right, Cleo. I don't hear any ghosts singing this time either. We've got to hurry down to the generator room in the basement and get the power back on. Hey, stop! Wait a damn minute. Whoever that was, they got away fast. Can we go? Where are they? What? Mihin ne meni? Eli meidän pitää mennä sinne basementiin. Okei, tylsä. Me oltais jahdattu kyllä tuota äsken. Hello, Skinny! Tervetuloa messiin. Meillä on just ajojahti päällä. That sounded like a window shattering somewhere upstairs. Okei. Laitetaanko me nyt silti kuitenkin nää takas päälle? Nothing is happening. Eiks olekaan tää? Pitääkö mulla ottaa? It looks like somebody came down here and turned the power off manually. Ai sorry, mulla piti olikin koira. Koira huomasi, eikä tuo kaveri. Mutta siellä oli doggy baggy. At least the lights are on again. Let's go back upstairs and investigate the sound of the glass shattering. Jep, mutta no! Doggy baggy! I want it! No! Siellä oli doggy baggy! Kai se vielä on siellä. Olisiko ne pitänyt ottaa siinä tilanteessa? Ihan tyhmää. Ei voi tietää tuommoista. Ei saa. Are you? Tässä oli... Doggy on poissa. Pettymysten perämoottori. Ei nuin saa tehdä. Me ollaan saatu 26. Meillä on 25 nyt. Se on kivempaa. Törkeetä. Nää on kaikki nyt täällä. Mitä hittoa? Mitä täällä tapahtuu? Missä se on se... Mikä se oli se glass breaking window sound? That sound of glass shattering came from inside the den. I wasn't guarding the door this time, so I can't tell you what happened. That sound of glass shattering came from inside the den. You've got to solve this case for the good of everyone at Activision Games. Okay. The sound of glass shattering came from the internet. Did you ever make any friends with our Lord Gal? Yes, I did. Mitä? Miksi? Mut miksi se kysyy? Siis miksi se kysyy sitä niinku sitä multa sitä, että onko mä kattonut sen riddle, koska herranen aika siis sehän, eihän se tiennyt, että se oli me, koska meillä oli se paladin kostuum. Toihan nyt on selkeä virhe. Apua, eihän se olisi saanut tietää siitä, että se oli me. Meillä oli paladin kostuum, kun me pyydettiin se riddle. Oi voi, olipa inhottava. Kalpea lady onkin totta. Ja oikeasti Jonttu, mitä jos onkin? Mitä jos se onkin? Mitä jos tää onkin supernatural? Guess we never know. Ne kaiuttimet on poissa! The speakers that were plugged into the computer when I searched this room earlier are gone. See? This window has been shattered. That must have been the noise we heard from downstairs. The hole in this window looks about the same size as those laptop speakers that were on the table earlier. Could someone have thrown them out the window while the lights were out for the second time? Niin miekin uskon tapahtuu. Joku otti ne kaiuttimet, koska ne tietää sen, että koska ne kaiuttimet on siinä pöydällä, me uskotaan ja voidaan niinku siitä päätellä ja todeta, että se kuoli ennen niiden valojen sammumista. Niin se on nyt heittänyt sen, kun se oli mä ainoa todisteni ulos tästä ikkunasta. Damn! Voidaankohan me käydä hakemassa ne pihalta ne niinku tai siis me mietin, että pystyttäisikö me jotenkin. I think I've solved this mystery. There's a lot of complications, but I think I know who killed Billy Kramer. Why they did it, and how it was done. Begin the explanation. No. Ei mun mielestä meillä ole tarpeeksi. Siis katsotaanpa. Meidän case file tällä hetkellä. Siis me voitais tavallaan päätellä se tuossa, mutta minä uskon, että tässä on samalla tavalla kuin niissä aikaisemmissa. Meiltä puuttuu joku salainen clue, mikä on loppupeleissä se niinku kaikista se tavallaan tärkein clue, mikä me tarvitaan. Eli meillä on siis joku, mikä meidän pitää löytää ennen kuin me voidaan niinku päätellä tämä tapaus. Mulla on sellainen vaisu, että me saatetaan jostakin täältä löytää joku mahdollinen clue tähän. Mutta me ei oikeastaan päästä sinne Mountain Ridgeen, eihän me ei päästä niinku tavallaan... Me ei päästä kattamaan niinku sinne taakse, missä se... talo on. Koska se oli heitetty niinku sieltä talon takaosasta ulos. Eli se on heitetty niinku tavallaan yli tästä vuorelta. Ellei me sitten oikeasti uskota, että se oli se... Tai mitä mieltä te ootte? Voiko se olla se? Kun mun mielestä todennäköisin olisi varmaan se siis se asianajaja. Tai sillä on kaikista isoin motiivi. Mulla ei ole siis mitään ymmärrystä enkä käsitystä siitä, minkä hitsin takia se moottorikelkkakuski tai se haluaisi tappaa sen pelitekijän. Tai sillä ei ole mitään motiivia mun mielestä. Proceed to explanation. No, I guess. There's just one more thing we need to do with that electrical apparatus first. Then I'll assemble all the suspects in the den. Where the murder happened. Nyt se tekee jotain. Okei, eli tässä oli oikeasti tai niinku tämä piti tehdä. Mä oon nyt vähän hämmentynyt. Okei. Aikaisemmin me on pitänyt itekin olla vähän silleen tietoisia siitä ennen kuin me ollaan voitu tehdä tää explanation, niin me on nyt vähän hämmentynyt. Mutta katsotaan miten tässä käy. Tää voi olla nyt, että on absoluuttisesti väärin. Laitetaan 7, niin me voidaan sitten palata tuohon. No niin, in this part of the story, Detective Guy will explain the solution to the mystery. A correct answer will earn a point. Accumulating enough points will result in convincing the others of the solution. A low score, less than half correct, will not be convincing. Totta. Eli me pitää nyt kuitenkin sen verran vähän tietää. Ootteko te ollut hereillä? Osaatteko te vastata näihin kysymyksiin, jos näitä tulee? Osataanko me yhdessä? Pysyttekö te kärryillä? Can we really trust this amateur detective judgments on a matter as important as my father's murder? We have no choice. When the public finds out what happened, it will ripple throughout the entire company. The acquisition deal I spent all this time negotiating could be completely thrown out. We might have to start again from scratch. I want to get out of here as soon as possible. I never should have come to this place. If any of you try and leave, you're gonna have to get past me. None of us are going anywhere until we know who did this. Like it or not, we're all stuck here until the mystery is solved. We're all in agreement then. Go ahead, detective, tell us what happened. Okay. No niin, nyt tulee quiz time, everybody! Nyt tulee siis meidän koe tälle illalle, että ollaanko me oltu hereillä. Nyt minä näen, kuka teistä on ollut hereillä ja kuka nukahti. Joo. Good, one of you is the killer and I know who. Okei, eli jos se on one of you is the killer and I know who, niin se ei voi olla se moottoripyöräkuski. Mutta mehän todettiin oikeesti jo siitä alusta asti, että se ei oo kukaan ulkopuolinen. Niin minun mielestä se on kyllä sitten aivan absoluuttisesti se hitsin lawyer. Siinä ei voi olla ketään muuta. Mutta siinä ei ole mitään järkeä. This mystery began long before any of us arrived at the Cresta di Montagna Hotel for the Hacktivision Games holiday party. Before we arrived here, Clea and I were sent something astonishing in the mail, which served as an introduction of the events to come. This was the item we received. Me saatiin se the balance sheet. Oh damn, me unohdin katsoa ne evidenssit, että mikä näissä, me en muista niiden nimiä. Pink slip, victim's letter, treasure riddle, steakhouse receipt ja death threat. Damn. Ei se ollut tää death threat, mikä me saatiin. Oliko se tää victim's letter? Tää oli varmaan se. The victim's letter! Joo, se oli oikein. At first, Cleo and I were skeptical that it was genuine. As it turned out, our instincts were right. Then our airline tickets arrived. I still say it's ridiculous. My father would never write to you. But he really got a death threat, and somebody really did kill Billy Kramer first. What do you mean your instincts were right? We'll come back to that later. As it turned out, the murder happened shortly after we arrived. Clea and I stood in the doorway to the lounge arguing with Billy Kramer Jr. and Ned Illman. The innkeeper was quietly behind her desk and Sandra Burke was angrily pacing near the fireplace. That was when it happened.
When what happened, detective?
The murder.
Right. The lights out.
Another blackout?
Oh no! Oh my god, the ghost is back! Not again! Everyone be careful! What's going on? Tää on aika sus, että sä sanot what's going on, koska se ei oo ite suunnitellut asiaa. This happened. No niin. The lights in the hotel went out. A power outage. Hey, wait. How did you know that would happen? It's like you planned it. Yes, exactly. Along with the lights out, we all heard a spooky singing voice coming from somewhere nearby, but it was impossible to determine the source. What was it? Somebody wanted us all to believe that it was because of a supernatural curse. When I first explored the hotel lobby, I found this item which provided a detailed account of a spooky Alpine ghost legend. No se oli se ihme folklore book, eikö vaan? Joo. The folklore book! Se on niinku dramaattista, kun se selittää näitä. Ihanaa. The book we found contained a sad and haunting story about the Alpine ghost legend of the White Lady. The tale described the apparition as a harbinger of death, witnessed in a blizzard and accompanied by ghostly singing. Yeah, and look what happened. Yes, it's true. There was a blizzard, we heard ghostly singing, and then Billy Kramer I was found stabbed to death. You're gonna tell us that Billy Kramer I, the president of Activision Games, was killed by a ghost? Come on. I'm merely acknowledging that all three events happened at the same time. What about causation? Obviously, the circumstances surrounding Mr. Kramer's death were very suspicious, especially after I spoke with everyone who was in the hotel at the time. I discovered each of you had a motive for wanting him dead. Dun dun dun!
Are you absolutely sure that it had to be one of us?
It's the only possible explanation. The front door to the lounge is the only way out of the hotel, and the den window opens on top of a steel cliff. Apua, arvatkaa muuten mitä tajusin justiin. Siis vitsi, koska, tiedättekö, tää on ehkä vähän turhan literal tämä 3. osa. Mä en tiedä, onko niillä tullut kiire tässä vai mikä. Mutta The Deal Killer. Eikö se tappaja on nyt siinä nimessäkin? Koska me tiedetään jo kuka se on. Niin me tiedetään kuka se tappaja on. Ja siis jos tämän pelin nimi on The Deal Killer. Oi voi. Steep cliff! It would have been impossible for some unknown assassin to pass through the den without being seen, and anyone attempting to escape through the den window would plunge to their death. What motive could I have possibly had to kill the senior Billy Kramer? My employer was about to buy his company. Ned, kuule, mulla on vähän nyt semmonen, että musta tuntuu, että tää on nyt ihan kaikki ohjaa suoraan suhun. Mikä on tosi sääli kyllä, jos on niin, koska sitten tää on ollut kyllä sitten niinku tosi suoraviivainen, koska me aloiteltiin tää heti alussa. Ois kyllä aika obvious, niin eikö vaan Lilo? Siis koska niissä aikaisemmissa ei ollut kyllä näin suora, tai se 2 oli mun mielestä ihan superhyvä. Meillä meni siinä ihan sikana aikaa, se oli tosi hyvä peli, mä tykkäsin siitä. Tässä 3. on vähän silleen, että tää on ollut kyllä paljon nopeammin jotenkin pelattu läpi. Jos jo nimessä on se killeri, niin eikö Lilo, siis on se vähän huono. Jos se on tää, mutta me ei tiedä toki, sehän voi olla, että mä oon ihan arvannut väärin, mutta mulla on vaan jotenkin sellainen niinku intuitio, että se on oikeasti tämä tyyppi. You certainly had your own suspicious private agenda. How do you mean? Besides the victim, you were the one who had intimate knowledge of the acquisition of Activision Games by Comp Inc. The terms of the deal were completely transparent. By next quarter, they'd be available to any Comp Inc stockholder. Cleo and I found evidence that you had connected with somebody in the area for a secret meeting. Oh shit, kuka muistaa? Apua. Crampons, costume box, climbing rope, pink slip, steakhouse receipt. Steakhouse receipt, voisiko olla? Steakhouse receipt. Se on varmaa. Death threat, joo. Tän täytyy olla se. Tää, koska se kävi siellä steakhouseissa, joo. Mites toi? Joo, just Jonttu. Mustakin tuntuu Jonttu, että se on toi. Sen täytyy olla se receipt, kyllä. Joo! The steakhouse receipt! Okei. Okay.
Before arriving at the hotel, you had paid for dinner at a restaurant in Torino with an unknown guest. Who was it? I can guarantee that my personal dinner guest was not someone who is here in this room now. Who says that I need to disclose my personal dinner plans or list my business associates? I'm under no such obligation to the deceased or to any of you. Your omission of this rendezvous is important regardless. It shows that your dealings with my father haven't been entirely above board and trustworthy. Lana Kramer, are you really in a position to point the finger of suspicion? Maybe you should take a look at your green face in the mirror first. Niin toki tuolla Lanallakin olisi varmaan ollut mahdollisuus, koska jos se murha tapahtui ennen niitä valoja, niin mitä jos se on se Lana ollut siellä huoneessa, sit se on vaan mennyt niinku ryppäämään sen jälkeen, ja sit se on saanut siitä alibin. Se tavallaan voisi olla niin, mutta en mä tiedä ehtisikö se. Hey, what did I do? You were planning to theatrically fake your own death to get your father's attention. The White Lady ghost legend tells of a hooded, wild spirit haunting this region of the mountains. At least one person here claimed to see someone dressed in a white veil and hood. You are a professional costume designer. I found this item in the hotel basement which could have provided you with a disguise. Se on se costume box, eikö vaan? The costume box! You could have stored a costume which looked like the White Lady's ghost in your box of costumes. It would have been easiest for you out of everyone to disguise yourself. I did make a costume like that, but not for myself. I sold it already. It was a commission to an anonymous buyer on the internet. If I had a costume like that, then tell me where it is now. I bet she did it for attention, or was it for Daddy's money instead? Do you want to have a conversation about looking for money now, Mr. Lipson? What are you talking about? Some people will do ruthless and desperate things for money, wouldn't you agree? I'm just a professional bodyguard. Somebody who was physically close to the victim in his office saw an opportunity. After we unlocked the victim's hotel suite, Cleo and I discovered something that somebody had planned to use against Mr. Kramer. For money. Onko se nyt sitten ne blackmail-fotos? Vitsi jos menee väärin, sit harmittaa. The folder with photographs that was intended to be used as blackmail. You found out about something shady and illegal that your boss had done and decided to try and use it for your own personal gain. You were planning to blackmail Billy Kramer the First. How did you find out about that? Let's just say I know someone scary who can read your thoughts. Alright, it's true. I was gonna blackmail my boss because I found out his move to terminate Sandra Burke was illegal and expensive. But I didn't kill him. Then how would I get the money? What a sleazy and opportunistic thing to do. How do we know you didn't kill him because he found out about your blackmail scheme? Mrs. Burke, you're free to make a conjecture about somebody else's motive, but I should remind you that you are the only person here who openly threatened the victim. I'll find this item in your hotel room which confirms your grudge against the victim as well as your motive for murder. Mitä sanotte, että pink stuff slip? Just se. Pink slip stuff. Antaa se. Oi että. The pink slip. After you found out you had been terminated and lost your bonus from the Hacktivision buyout deal, you came here to threaten your former boss. You even suggested you'd kill him. I never should have come here. It would have been smarter to take my chances in court. I admit that what I said was stupid, but I didn't kill him. That might as well be a confession. When will the police show up and arrest her? How convenient it was that Sandra Burke had just been fired. How convenient for you and your father, don't you think? What? Are you talking about? She was gonna kill him. What could have made Sandra Burke so angry that she uttered such a threat in public? Why was she fired? When I found this item, I was able to gain insight into Hacktivision's finances. It revealed the true motive for Sandra Burke's firing. No sitten tää on kyllä se balance sheet. Mä luulin, että tää olisi sille Nedille. Activision Company balance sheet. Sandra Burke stood to make an enormous commission from the sale of the company, and your father wanted to keep that money for himself. Your father needed an accomplice to plan the death threat in Sandra Burke's belongings and frame her for it. The senior Billy Kramer's bodyguard, Ty Lipson, found out about the plot and intended to blackmail him. You also were next in line to lead the company in the event of your father's death. So what you're saying is, if we follow the money, then we'll discover the culprit. Follow the money? Yes, it's like a treasure hunt. Wouldn't you say so, Mrs. Russell? 2 years ago, you overheard a conversation between Gary Small and the deceased game designer, Lord Russell Gallant, about a priceless treasure on this mountain. A treasure you wanted to find badly enough that you even scared away all your hotel guests. Cleo and I found this item, which proves that despite being a scenic tourist destination, the Crested Mountain Hotel has had almost no guests during the last 2 years. No se on se hitsin hotel logbook. The hotel logbook. You've been scaring guests away from this hotel for 2 years, which is exactly when you overheard the conversation about Russell Gallant's treasure. A treasure that despite your best efforts you were unable to find. You used the Alpine ghost legend of the White Lady for your own benefit and planted the folklore book for anyone in your hotel to find. You see. You planned those horrifying electrical power blackouts to happen just like clockwork and the ghostly singing. I used to train as an opera singer in Siena. Hey, wait, so there's no ghost? That's what you're saying? The whole thing was faked? This was all because of that time you heard my old friend tell me about the treasure and you had the nerve to scare everyone because of it? The innkeeper isn't the only one here who knows about scaring people, Mr. Small. Would you also like to tell us all what you know about making threats? What? Huh? When we explored Billy Kramer's hotel room, the Emperor's suite, Cleo and I found something that was intended to make him fear for his life. So it's a death threat. The death threat that was sent to the senior Mr. Kramer. Billy Kramer and his son pinned the death threat on Sandra Burke as an excuse to have her fired, but she was not the one who sent it. Who was it? Who else stood to lose a lot from Activision games being bought out by Comp Inc.? Was there someone else whose job was in jeopardy? Alright, I admit it. I sent the death threat. I figured that I'd be laid off when Comp Inc. gained creative control over Paladin Dream, and I didn't want that to happen. So then I took the fall for you? I'm sorry, I was looking out for myself. I had no idea any of this would happen. You deceived your own employer. The death threat was just a trick from a desperate employee hoping to hold onto their position in the company. How unethical. You want to talk about ethics, Mrs. Winter? How about the ethics of impersonating your boss? Well, When we found the pink slip that the victim wrote, we noticed that it was signed Billy. However, the victim's letter we received in the mail was signed William Kramer I. This inconsistency just suggested that these two documents were actually written by two different people. Mrs. Burke's pink slip was obviously genuine, so then our letter was composed by someone else who was pretending to be Billy Kramer. I told you my father would never have contacted you. Am I right or am I right? When we found this clue, we discovered that somebody admitted to impersonating Billy Kramer I. Se on se hitsin employee's notebook. Eikö vaan? Joo. Pink slip den window costume, joo. The employee's notebook. The murder victim never wrote to Cleo and I, never warned us about the death threat, and never sent us any airline tickets to Italy. These actions were all performed by senior Mr. Kramer's secretary, Carol Winters. I only did it to protect my boss, to protect the company, the employees. You embezzled money from the company to pay airline fare for a detective and a dog? How dare you? As you can see, Billy really was murdered. Are you planning to actually do anything about it, detective? This public shaming of all of us has gone on quite long enough. Solve the case or I'll break your face. Well, damn, when pondering over a solution, I had 4 questions that kept bothering me.
When did the murder happen? Why did the light go off the first time? How did the killer escape? Why did the light go off again for the second time later? Do you have the answers? At first, the murder seemed physically impossible. The senior Mr. Kramer was stabbed in the den while the lights were out, with his faithful bodyguard outside the door. That does seem impossible. There's no way anybody could have snuck around Ty Lipson and gone in or out of the den in pitch black. We were all led to assume that the murder happened during the first blackout. But what if the murder really happened before the lights were out? What if Billy Kramer was already dead when the lights went out? Then the murder was actually committed earlier. It seemed impossible because it was impossible. When was Billy Kramer murdered? During first blackout, before, or after first? During, after, before. So before. Before first blackout. Se oli before ja sitten sen jälkeen, kun se laitettiin se tuli se video päälle. Ja sen jälkeen, tai siis se on ennen sitä. Joo, ennen sitä. Niinhän me pääteltiin. Herran aika, mun piti ihan miettiä, että kyllähän se oli ennen sitä. The victim was already dead by the time the innkeeper's spooky charade happened. Why did the lights go out for the first time? To scare guests away, a supernatural occurrence to destroy evidence. The first time to scare guests away. Kai joo, eiks toi oo se oikee? To destroy evidence ei taida olla oikein, koska destroy evidence on ehkä siinä kakkoskerralla. Siinä se yritti heittää pois ne kuulokkeet tai ne kaiuttimet tai ne. Niin se on niinku destroy evidence. Mutta sitten, että onks tämä niinku, ei kyllä ehkä, ei supernatural occurrence. Mut niinku mieluummin ehkä to scare guests away. Tai kun siis sehän oli niinku ton Annan järjestämä se ensimmäinen blackout. Niin minä oletan, että se on to scare guests away. No niin joo. The innkeeper was scaring guests away so she could look for the treasure. You've already told us that, detective. This deranged innkeeper here has engineered the blackout to scare her guests away. Can we end this inquest now? Just because I haunted my hotel doesn't mean I killed some business tycoon. But you're the only one here who knew that the lights were going to go out. That's where you're wrong, Mr. Dillman. The snowmobile driver also knew about my plan. He helped me rig up the electrical room controls for the timed blackout. The snowmobile driver? But he left the hotel a long time ago. How can you accuse someone who isn't even actually here, detective? Anna Russo may not have told anyone else about her methods of scaring away the hotel guests, but the snowmobile driver ran his mouth. Niin, se on voinut kertoa kyllä jollekin, jep. When Cleo and I were riding to the Cresta de Montage Hotel, the driver hinted to us about the mysterious happenings going on. They say the Cresta de Montagne Hotel and the surrounding area is haunted. I guess you two haven't heard of the White Lady before. If you treat me to a steak dinner and a couple rounds of drinks sometime, I'll tell you all about it too. Niin olikin, se sanoi siitä steakhousesta, eli se tapasi siellä steakhousessa tämän driverin. Se ei ollutkaan, siis se joka siellä oli siellä steakhouse, oh my god, se on koko ajan ollut se Ned. No just, onpa typerää. A steak dinner and a couple rounds of drinks. Personally, I've lost my appetite. Why are you bringing this up, detective? At the time the snowmobile driver said it, I wasn't sure what to think either. A clue connects the snowmobile driver to one of the other hotel guests. One of you had taken him up on his offer, and he told you everything about the rigged power outage and the phony ghost curse. Who else met with the snowmobile driver? The same person who took him out to a fancy steak dinner in Torino, Ned Tillman. Yep. Alright, it's true. I went out for dinner with the snowmobile driver. My signature is on the receipt. Your dinner guest may not be one of us, but he was someone who knew about what was going on at this hotel. I see. Then the snowmobile driver told you all about how he and I set up the electrical blackouts. What connection could this have to set lights going out for the second time. If the killer didn't enter and exit the den during the blackout, then that person must have been in the room already. Who went into the den? No, se on se Ned. Obviously. We know the murder victim was alive when Sandra Burke barged into the den to protect her termination from the firm. He sure was, alive and just as slimy as ever. How can you talk about my wonderful father like that? Mä nyt tiedä, onko se niin wonderful. Sometime after that, but before the lights went out, Ty Lipson says he saw Lana Kramer leaving the den wearing one of her spooky costumes. It wasn't me. I never went to the den. I was passed out in bed. My boss was still alive when that happened. I could still hear him speaking from outside the door to the room. How was it possible that nobody saw the senior Billy Kramer's killer leave the den? I saw his daughter leaving the den wearing the costume. She scared the hell out of me. No, that's not possible. It's true. I helped Lana to bed. I can assure you that she was in no state to do any such things. Cleo and I found this item in the basement which worked as a sedative for Mrs. Kramer. The bottle of crappa she drank from. Lana Kramer was so sedated that she slept through the murder and the blackout. That girl must have drank an awful lot. Yeah, minä en lauantaina. Then bottle was drugged. It must have been. Not so. When Cleo examined the bottle of crappa, she determined that it was clean. Then why did Lana get so sleepy? I can answer that one. What? We're up in the mountains. Since Lana arrived here recently, her body has not yet adjusted to the lower oxygen levels, so the alcohol had a stronger effect. I see. Then there's a natural reason why the liquor hit my system so hard. What does my sister's drinking problem have to do with solving my father's murder? It's established that it couldn't have been Lana that Ty Lipson saw leaving the den wearing that costume. How did the killer escape from the den? Wearing a costume. The murderer put on the ghostly costume which scared the victim's bodyguard, leaving in plain sight. Finally, the reason for the second blackout. Obviously, more of the innkeepers trying to frighten us into believing in her lurid ghost story. I'm not so sure. I didn't hear any more of her spooky singing this time. All I heard was the window in the den being smashed open. I agree. I didn't hear any singing the second time either. Who broke the den window and why did they do it? Yeah, it's getting chilly in here. Are we almost done with this, detective? Did you find any new clues in here? Nothing new was added, but something that was here earlier has been removed. After the second power outage, Cleo and I discovered that this item had been thrown out the den window. No ne on nyt ne sit ne hitsiin computer speakerit. The computer speakers were gone. The speakers had been tossed out the broken window. Why did the killer need to get rid of the computer speakers? What were they trying to hide? Evidence. Ty Lipson could hear his boss speaking outside the door to the den, but could not see him. We have only the overheard sound of his voice to verify that Billy Kramer was still alive between the interval after the white lady ghost exited the room and when the lights went out. That's because the voice he heard was a recording of his boss's voice played through the speakers. Billy Kramer the first was already dead. A murderous ghost assumed to be Lana Kramer had already left the scene hidden in plain sight. Dun dun dun. Why did the lights go out again for the second time? To destroy evidence. The killer shut the power off in order to get rid of the computer speakers. Why? Who did it, detective? Who killed my father? It sounds like you know the identity of the person wearing the costume, even if Ty never saw the person's face. Do you know? Well, this was Ned. Yeah, it's Ned. Everyone, present had a motive. It could have been a frustrated, money-hungry bodyguard whose employee had foiled his blackmail scheme. Or was it a secretary who was praised enough to embezzle money and impersonate her boss? How about a creative director who was so worried about losing his job that he sent the murder victim a death threat?
What about a wayward, attention-seeking daughter, or a disrupted former employee who felt she was wronged by the victim? It could have been the lawyer sitting on the other side of the desk on a deal that was so important to both parties. Could it have been the victim's son who was poised to take over the company? There's also the suspicious innkeeper who was determined to scare away all the hotel guests. Tell us, no se on se hiton Ned. Ei se voi olla kukaan muu. The murderer of Billy Kramer the First, the president and CEO of Activision Games, is Ned Tillman. It was Ned Tillman, the lawyer from Comp Inc. Da da da. Damn. What is the reason for this mockery of an accusation, detective? I'll see you in court for defamation of a character over this. I'm even going to sue your dog. Sue your dog. Eli Cleokin raukkaa. Se on silleen, joudun tästä vastuuseen. Kiitos tosi paljon. Jonttu ihan shokissa. Oliko tää nyt niin sokera? Eikö mä arvattu tää nyt alusta asti? Tää on nyt vähän tylsää. You were the only one who was alone with the victim before Ty Lipson saw the ghostly figure leaving the den after you committed murder. Yep.
I've gotta say, Mr. Tillman, this deal I've worked out with you and Comping is finally going to give me all the money I'll ever need.
Yes, well, you drive a hard bargain. True to form, Mr. Kramer.
Call me Billy, please. With the fortune I'm about to amass, I'm planning to start a new publishing company. I'm going to publish video games the right way. No more microtransactions, no more digital rights management, and no more milking the players for cash. I'm going to start treating my employees with dignity and respect. No more mandatory forced overtime crunches. And most of all, I'm going to spend more time with my children, Billy Jr. and Lena. They need my help, and I'm going to be there for them as a father. Mark my words, Mr. Tillman. After your employer buys out my company, for these generous terms, you're going to see a very different... I'm afraid that won't be happening since the deal fell through. What? What do you mean the deal fell through? We're about to sign the last contract.
I also drive a hard bargain. Then you killed him!
Dun dun dun.
After stabbing Billy Kramer, you used the computer speakers to play a pre-recorded conversation with his voice. That way, the time of death was obfuscated, and it seemed as though he was still alive. You then put on the white Lady Ghost costume, which served as a disguise while you left the den. The victim's bodyguard mistook you for Lena, the costume designer. Dun dun dun. That's ridiculous, detective. Why would I kill Billy Kramer the First? My company was about to buy Activision Games from him. After his unfortunate death, the whole deal will have to be renegotiated from scratch. Why would I want that to happen? That's exactly why you killed him. To stop the deal? No, you killed him so that you could then get a better deal. How? Billy Kramer Sr. was well known in the industry for being a strong-arm negotiator. He was very perceptive at observing the other side's weaknesses and exploiting them for his own gains. You got that right, detective. He was ruthless at the bargaining table. But in the event of his death, who takes control of Activision Games? I do, of course. While Billy Kramer the First, the father, was a shrewd and intelligent businessman capable of devising the best deal possible for his interest, Billy Kramer II, the son, was not. And that's why he was murdered, so that in the result of his death, Comp Inc. could renegotiate the contract with Billy Jr. and get more favorable terms. How dare you insult me, detective? My father taught me everything he knows. He may have tried, but were you paying attention?
No, eikö se katoit sitä hiton detective-koiraa?
You're right, Cleo. There has to be a way I can show everyone that Billy Kramer II lacks his father's business acumen.
Police dog.
police dog, you made it! Ruff! Are you close to solving the mystery? Ruff, ruff! Good, because I want to see this episode as soon as it's on TV. The next time there's a big, important meeting, I promise I'm gonna duck out and watch the show. That's what I always do, isn't it? It's much more fun than all this hard work.
Billy.
Billy Kramer II isn't prepared to run his father's company, and Ned Tillman figured that out. As Comp Inc.'s lawyer, if he could find a way to negotiate better terms for his employer, he certainly would have been promised a strong financial incentive. So your case is that I stabbed Billy Kramer the first, then I put on that ghost disguise that was witnessed by his bodyguard. The way I see it, unless you are able to produce this ghostly costume, your whole theory falls apart. There was a ghost costume. Cleo and I crossed paths with you in the lounge during the second time the electricity was turned off. Are you able to produce this alleged ghost disguise now, or has it disappeared?
Niin toi oli varmaan se secret juttu, mikä meidän olisi pitänyt löytää. Se ghost costume.
Where could the ghost costume have gone? It has to be someplace we haven't looked yet.
Oyers briefcase, sillä on koko ajan sen mukana. Se kantaa koko ajan sitä briefcasea. Se on varmaan siinä. Koska silloin se on jatkuvasti mukana, niin ei silloin se aikaa piilottaa sitä mihinkään muualle. Tää niin.
The lawyer's briefcase! He's been carrying it with him this whole time.
No niin, eli se oli se, no niin.
Would you care to open your briefcase, Mr. Tillman?
The contents of my briefcase are property of Comp Inc. And if any of you lay off one finger on it, then you'll be violating confidentiality.
Oh, knock it off already. Give me that.
Get away from me, all of you!
You got nowhere to go. The snowstorm is starting to let up. We'll be able to reach the police soon. No, you won't get me!
Oh god, oh god!
No!
Heittikö se ulos sen briefcase? Se olisi fiksua. At that instant, Ned Tillman attempted to escape. He was stopped by the burly Ty Lipson, who restrained him until the blizzard subsided. The innkeeper called the police, and the killer was taken away. Mä ajattelin, että se heitti sen briefcase ulos. Se olisi ollut fiksua. Eihän kukaan olisi löytänyt sitä. Jos se oli tyyli ainoa evidence, mitä se olisi tarvinnut. Se teki se jo kerran, se olisi voinut tehdä se uudestaan.
After the mystery was solved, all the other guests from Hacktivision Games left the hotel. As fate would have it, Comp Inc.'s deal to buy Hacktivision Games was blocked by European Union attribution laws. Once news of the game publisher's murder came out, the two companies awkwardly drifted apart. For the rest of the week, Cleo and I had an entire alpine ski resort all to ourselves. Though I'm not much of a skier, Cleo can really fly down those steep mountain slopes.
Ihanaa, kun koira pystyy siihen, mutta siihen. Pitääkö meidän taas tallentaa?
Cleo, you're doing great! I'll meet you at the bottom of the mountain.
Control the ski movement using left and right arrow buttons and shift the shift button will increase the okay. En me saanut sit persulle. Mitä? Tää menee jo sikke nopeeta. Me saa mitään näistä. Ihan mahoton. Noniin. En saanut sitäkään. Okei. En saanut sitäkään. Ei. Jees, tää oli ihan huonoa. Okei. Added to menu. Okei. Siinä oli. Ei. Ei. Siis miten me onnistuin menemään ohi siitä? Ei. Okei. Ei. Tää on ihan sikkä nopee. Mitä? Persele. Siitäkin meni just. Mitä? Se oli oikea. Ei. Se oli siinä vieressä. Mitä me Okei, kolmas kerta. Perse. Ei. Okei. Men pääse toiselle puolelle. Okei. Ei tästä tuu mitään. Noniin, ei. Edes yksi. Halo, yksi pitää saa. Okei. No niin. Okei. Oh. Eikö se saanut sitä dogipäkiä? Ei. Miksi se saanut sitä? Tää on ihan sairaan nopea. Ei tässä pysy mukana oikeesti. Ei! Se meni se ohi! Se meni niinku siis sekunnin päästä ohi. Oh my god, mä olin niin lähellä. Mä olin näin lähellä. Okei, vielä kerran. 1 kerta. Okei. Ei! Ei! Ihan ohi. Okei, missä on se, mikä on tällä puolella? Joo, ei! Ei! Missä leestisti oisi? Se on sen... Oh my god! Se oli sun edessä. Sä olisit voinut ottaa sen. Miten niin et saanut sitä? Oikeasti Cleo! Siis ihan oikeasti. No niin, me otan ne kaikki tältä puolelta. No niin, en saanut sitäkään. Just sa... Mitä? Toi nyt oli ihan törkeetä. Oh my god. Okei, se tulee nyt se hyppyri. Luovutan. Se oli siinä. No, that's it. Done. I'm done. Monitoiminen koira tää Cleo, no eikö jonttu? Tuleepa ski or die mieleen. Ei vitsi, onko sekin joku? Minä pelannut sitä peliä.
After their return, as a special treat to celebrate solving the mystery, Guy served Cleo her favorite, non-traditional Italian delicacy. Vanilla chocolate and strawberry gelato poutine.
Mangia Ben Cleo.
Detective Guy kept the rusty old paladin sword as a memento of his time in this Italian Alps to encourage him to keep solving more spooky mysteries with his dog. I still haven't played the Paladin Dream video game. Maybe another time.
Onks toi vinkki, että tulee joku Paladin video game juttu?
And so Detective Guy and Cleo, the clue-sniffing dog, have made it through another spooky mystery together. But what new adventures will their future hold? Until next time!
Tää niin tarkoittaa, että tästä tulee seuraava. Wow, se oli siinä. Mitä? Siis sit se oli jotenkin nopeasti ohi. What? Ihan crazy. Matthew Myers, Hit Ryan Games, yay! Ja hyvä Jeffrey Golden. Yay! Erin, David ja Banana Souch, Matt Firth, Takodev, Dorko, Anna-Lena, Lisa ja Guardian Studios. You did great. You did amazing. It was a great thing. You are perfect. We love you. Ei vitsi, on huikea.